Nominal.
RCP chamber pressure looks good. Doubling up. Roger roll, Atlantic.
Water towers can fly! Yes!
Tango Delta nominal.
Flight outside SC off. Bring in SC off. Yikes. You bet. Concur. We don't need any more of these.
Good morning, Texas Tank Watchers, coming at you live from Starbase down in Boca Chica, Texas. The sun is about to rise down that way, and we're hoping this morning it's not the only thing that rises. You can see right there, Starship S20, newly tiled overnight. Workers on that until about 4 a.m. local time, putting tiles up in that big missing section. But let me know if you can hear and see this morning. John Galloway for NASASpaceflight here. Need some audio there as well. Yep, I'm getting tons of 5x5s in chat. So we are here early this morning to share with you what hopefully may be the first ever stacking of a Starship on top of the Super Heavy booster. You can see both of those things on the screen this morning. Lifts and workers already up and at 'em here. So we are going to be coming at you live, like we said, and the NASA spaceflight team doing our normal live commentary. Hopefully we get to see this thing go. Let's introduce who else is in the studio here with me this morning. Starting up at the top of the list, Chris Gebhardt. How are you doing this morning?
Oh, I am here like everyone else, hoping to see a starship stacked by the end of today.
Excellent. Y'all, Chris Gebhardt, Assistant Managing Editor for NASA Spaceflight. You've heard his voice on our streams quite frequently. Also back in the studio, we have Steve Marr. Steve, you awake?
I am awake. Haven't been awake for long, and I can report that the sun is officially up here on the Space Coast, so it shan't be long before it rises over there in Boca Chica.
Good deal. Steve's a photographer, commentator. You hear his voice on the stream as well quite frequently, but he will be joining us. Also back in the studio, Michael Baylor. How you doing this morning?
It is, let's see, 4:38 a.m. I've been up since 3, so I'm a little bit tired, but I'm very excited to see a Starship get stacked on a Super Heavy.
It's almost like Christmas morning, right? You sort of can't sleep. You can't get to sleep the night before. Then you wake up and it's like, time to open the presents. But it's SpaceX that's going to do all the, well, I guess not really unwrapping here because they were putting the tiles on it. Anyways,
They're
you know the drill.
They're the parents, and Santa who, put the toys together so the kids have it to wake up to in the morning.
Working overnight to finalize the tiles on the some assembly required Starship here, huh?
Yes, exactly.
You think it came with batteries? I wonder if I should have batteries on it somewhere, shouldn't it?
Right?
Anyways.
I think starships come with batteries, right? Yeah.
Also, folks, do not forget, out in the field, rolling out before the sun came up, we've got Boca Chica Gal. That shouldn't surprise you. Boca Chica Gal before the sun rises. You don't get shots of the sun rising unless you beat it in the morning. And so Mary has been out there since super early at Boca Chica Gal over on Twitter. Make sure you toss her a follow if you want the fastest news and photos and stuff like that coming out of Boca Chica. She is the original Starship photographer out there, and this is her camera one right now, I believe. Yep, this is her camera right now, and has a fantastic shot of S20 there on the, well, almost on the pad, on the staging area, I guess. Also out in the field this morning, Jack Beyer has also...
Whoa.
Welp, I hadn't seen that preview yet, and yeah, well, apparently Jack has a camera as well that he's pointed at the base of
I guess if
S20.
it moves, we'll know.
Yeah, that will definitely be a great shot to see the first motion of this thing this morning. You can even see where it's bolted, like the actual plates are on the hard points there. Little gap in the tiles down low, and you can see some little spots where the ship is put in position. Now, I think that's part of the transport stand we're saying, not actually bolts through the side of the Starship. But how about that, y'all? Also, SpaceX, you missed a couple tiles. There's 2 right there. Go ahead, Michael.
Look, you expect perfection?
Okay. Well, again, folks, like we normally do, we're going to be doing this live all through the event. We cannot, unfortunately, tell you exactly what time it's going to happen. In the past, we've seen them do early morning lifts. We know out there on the beach in South Texas, right on the Gulf of Mexico, the winds tend to be much lower in the morning. And according to Elon, straight from the horse's mouth yesterday, I hope he doesn't mind me calling him a horse. Anyways, straight from Elon yesterday, he said that they had to abort the lift because it was too windy. They could not go for the lift due to the wind. So early morning winds tend to be a little bit lower, and we're hoping this morning that we start to see some daylight there on the bottom of Starship. So, Elon, if you don't like the whole horse thing, I don't know. I grew up in South Texas. That's what my dad used to say. My DMs are open. I'll trade you like a tour or something like that for stopping saying that. Anyways, shall we start going through? I mean, I know we already have super chats coming in. I know there's questions coming in as well.
Yeah,
And
I'm looking through the queue here. Go
yeah,
ahead.
look, no, the sunrise there really
Oh
quickly.
man.
Yeah, look at
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
So getting ready to get a little bit more light there, but not too much light with that cloud bubbling up over the Gulf. Let's start going
yeah. Let's do
through
it.
some questions and stuff, y'all.
Yeah, and remember, if you have a question, hit the at NASASpaceflight tag there, and we have a nifty little queue that Michael built that we will show that to us, and we can get those questions answered. I'm gonna start right here with Marcus Gruber saying on Elon's picture of S-20's Raptors, it seems as if it had no landing legs. What is the reason for that? Yeah, we did notice that yesterday. Why do we think there's no landing legs on the ship right now?
Yeah, it could. So it could be a couple of things. It could just be that they didn't need them on to roll out and get mated for the fit check to the super heavy booster, and that they could be added later on in the flows as they head through the rest of their test campaigns. It also could be a factor that this ship is not currently designated to return to actually land on land. It will simulate the landing. It will, if it survives, if the launch is successful and the orbit is successful and reentry is successful, it will emulate the landing and what it would do, but it will be doing so about 100 kilometers north of Hawaii, out over the open Pacific Ocean. So there might not be a need for landing legs for this particular flight. So could be either one of those options right now.
Right. And let's see. Well, I'm not sure how to say this name. Macreus. Do you know what the wind speed is at the moment? I know over on Starbase Live that was a big question, and we had the little ticker up at the top. And last I saw, it was only like 3 knots. But keep in mind that that's a reading that's coming from Port Isabel. Is that right?
Yeah, it's coming from a few miles away. It's not actually at Starbase. It's either at Port Isabel or Brownsville. I forget which one it is, but it's one of those. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you don't know what knots are, I don't either. But I mean, I know where knots came from, where they used to drag the rope behind the boat with the knots on it, and they measured how many of the knots on the rope were up above the water. But knots and miles per hour are about the same. And then
Just about. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I think if it's, I don't know, if it's like 10
Yeah.
knots, it's actually like 11 miles per hour or something like that.
Yeah. Let's take a look. It's 1 knot is 1.15 miles per hour. So
There you go. Yeah.
after 10, yeah, you're one ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, so if when you see knots, if you're familiar with miles per hour, I mean, it's almost 1 to 1.
Yeah.
So there you go. And that's actually a pretty good wind speed. And Jack had reported earlier that it was not as windy as yesterday.
Look on Jack's camera real quick there. There are workers seemingly inspecting the connection points on the bottom. See that?
I
Yep.
see that. Look at that.
Huh.
Got a
Yeah.
I think
hand
it's a
on
good
it.
sign.
It's a good sign.
And
And
it
yeah,
looks like there are bolts there.
Bolts below the lip of Starship, though.
Oh, that's
So
true. Yeah.
I wonder if those are like little clamps that stick up to it, but it's not actually like that's just connecting to the transport stand, or if those actually go with Starship. I am like squinting down to 2010 trying to see if any pixels are moving. But look at them all working around the base of Starship. One's on the flaps over there,
yeah.
seemingly with a hammer or something. I don't know. Is he smacking on something? Huh. All of this is good signs, though. Like this is nice to see. as
It
opposed to
is.
it being completely empty.
And I believe the hammering is called the fine adjustment
Fine
mechanism, right?
adjustment. He's got the old Mark II persuader out there, and he's
Yeah, exactly.
is that a little
Yeah.
crowbar or what? He was doing something. Anyways, all good signs. You want to see workers down there. They're doing inspections. They're looking at the base of Starship. So I like it.
All right, let's head on over here to the super chats, and I think I see some questions in there. Desmo Bluefire, SpaceX is keeping us all busy. Question: Is Starship better than Shuttle? And Shuttle has come up already in the first 15 minutes.
So you can mark that on your bingo cards.
There you go.
Does it count for the bingo card if I or Kirsty are not the ones to reference it, though?
Well, you
I
just
don't know.
referenced it, so
We'll
I think
have
it
to
counts for double.
first. Ah, dang. Okay, there we go.
you fell for the
um,
trap.
well, it's early. Excuse me. I've only had like 2 sips of coffee so far. Is it better than shuttle? I mean, if it lives up to its expectation, yeah. I mean, it's already cheaper. It can bring more to low Earth orbit at 100 metric tons than the shuttle could. The shuttle, um, yeah, the shuttle was less than that. Its full reusability is definitely an advancement and an improvement over everything. I mean, is it better? Like, yeah, and I would certainly hope it would be, considering the shuttle was developed in the 1970s. I would hope we weren't just replicating it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would definitely hope it would be. And yeah, if it can do everything they want it to do, I mean, heck, even if it can do half of what it can do, it would still be an improvement. But yeah,
Yeah, and the
my
fact that
answer,
there's going to
yeah.
be all these different versions of it, I think
Oh
that's a
yeah.
pretty good feature, you know?
And I mean, they're already talking about, I mean, not just like the cargo and crew variants, but then like the dual cargo crew variant as well, the lunar variant. And then they're talking about what did Elon say earlier? Like earlier in July that they're looking at deep space versions of Starship that would never return to Earth. They would just be out there permanently in the solar system somewhere, potentially using them as the probes themselves
Yeah.
instead of building a probe to then launch on a starship that and the starship might need to take it all the way to one of the outer planets if that's going to be an orbit insertion, let's say. Why not just have starship be the probe and save even more money? So like, yeah, there's so much use for this. And yeah, more than just a Mars transport vehicle. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and you mentioned orbital insertion. It reminds me that when I was watching the chat over on Starbase Live, one of the questions that was coming up a lot, it might have just been one person asking it over and over, I'm not sure, but is Starship going to be able to do an aero capture on like with planets
Oh,
and bodies
oh.
that have an atmosphere? Obviously you can't do it if there's no atmosphere, but yeah, what do you think? You think they could, instead of using fuel to grab an orbit around Mars or something, they could just dip into the atmosphere a little bit?
They certainly could. I mean, and depending on how far you would dip down, would depend on how much of a heat shield you need.
Yeah.
But if you're not trying to necessarily land, I mean, if the vessel is not dipping down far enough into the atmosphere where in relation to its speed, then it might not need a heat shield. If it does need a heat shield, they could still put it on. But yeah, arrow capturing would be something that it would be capable of doing. Yeah,
Yeah.
since it's an atmospheric entry vehicle. Yeah.
Right. Very cool. There was a Mars probe of some kind in the last couple of years that did that, right? That did a aero capture.
Did an arrow capture?
Yeah. Of course,
Um,
I put
so
you on the
there,
spot. I
so,
can't remember which
well,
one it
so
was.
there have been missions that use their braking thrusters to enter highly elongated and elliptical orbits of Mars, and then they dip down into the atmosphere to then lower to then lower their apogee
Mhm.
around Mars. Apo Aries, to lower their Apo Aries points. So I believe the one you're thinking of is Maven. Maven actually dipped down into Mars's atmosphere as part of its mission, but also as a way to help lower the Apo Aries of its orbit.
Gotcha. All right, very cool. Let's see. I see a familiar name. Musical Wolves over here says, "Did more heat tiles get installed overnight so S20 no longer looks like an Oreo?"
That definitely appears to be what happened, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I believe DOS is working on a time lapse of said installation.
Ah,
Ah,
yes. I pulled all the files for installing the TPS system, and I literally am right now watching workers work on the bottom, and time lapsing. It's like 7 hours of footage as they were working on that TPS last night.
Oof.
Oh,
So it's cool. You see them like, and the lift is going back and forth, and slowly but surely the tiles get filled in. It's a really cool video.
Hawken Ramsland is saying, "Thanks for getting up early. We don't mind at all. Thank you for being here."
yeah.
Uh, Shan L. Scott, your intro music is my happy song. Let's go ship 20. Yes, it is. I love the intro. I'll be
And
honest.
and you should probably all know that when it's playing, we're all usually sitting here behind the scenes whistling it or humming it or or
Yep.
something as it's playing. Yep.
Right. Sid Tovey throwing a little bit for the NSF Coffee Fund. We appreciate that. And Oliver saying, "Good morning, everyone. Currently watching from work as a nice podcast. Let's have a successful stack today." Yes, that's what we're all hoping for. And
I'm
nice of you to
curious.
join us from work.
Yeah, I'm curious how many people do that. I know it might be difficult to type into chat, but we hear quite often that people sometimes just put the audio on and listen to what's going on, and then when we're like, "Whoa, there it goes!" That's when you pop into the video. I'm curious how many of you actually listen to a sort of podcast mode instead of having the video up. Just type
Yeah.
that in the chat real quick. We'll keep going, Steven. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, no problem. I've done that myself. I talked
Y-
about that before.
Yeah, me too in the
Going down the
car.
road. Yeah, going
Yep.
down the road. I see a
Look at that.
bunch of people
Ton of
saying that they
people.
do that. All right. Yeah,
Wow.
awesome.
Sweet.
No kidding.
Podcast mode. Go.
Right.
Uh, Dave D, do you get extra or do you get floor mats with starships or is that extra?
Oh, well, I think the real question is how many cup holders does it have?
Right. Yeah, that's the most important part. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Uh, Go ahead.
look at this, Michael, real quick. If we pull one of the beach angles, the big lift is up near the top, but it seems to be coming down. So you can see
Ooh.
that big white boom of the lift on the backside. It looked like it was up near the attach points, but it does seem to be retracting right now. So maybe another good sign. The workers working at the bottom, the lift visiting the top, but not spending too much time there.
Yeah.
Maybe all this is good.
Yeah, maybe just double checking that everything's hooked up, you know.
Yep.
Nothing got moved around overnight. All right, Paul Dimitru. Good morning, guys. Here's a coffee. I can't wait to see Starship fully stacked. Yep, that's what we're all here for. Can't wait to see it. And we're getting a lot more sunlight here coming in.
Look at
Uh,
that.
yeah, it looks beautiful. That like sort of
Yeah.
cotton candy sky behind it. It's awesome. Uh, Invisible something something. Will they automate? It's like Kinkajou, I think maybe.
I
Um,
sorry, you didn't have to stop to pronounce it. Sorry.
Will they automate mating slash stacking process, or at least do they have ideas how to make it less weather dependent? That is a good question.
That is a good question. I'm not, I don't think it would ever not be weather dependent. So I like how you said less weather dependent. Because there are certainly things that like if people need to be out there for, you can't be out there in a lightning storm, obviously. But wind is always sort of going to be a constraint because of how big these things are, and you don't want them catching momentum in the wind, if you can help it. But I think that's about as far into the answer as we can realistically go right now, because a big question about how this process is going to evolve is, is the catch arm system going to serve double duty as a stacking system? Because
Yeah,
if it's meant to be automated after it catches, I mean, it has to be, right, to catch the booster. But if it's also then meant to swing over on its own and sort of AI intelligently put the booster and rotate the booster and get the booster properly situated over the launch mount again, then the extension of that to me is, well, then why can't it just also stack them to begin with? right, by
Yeah.
picking them up off the ground. And maybe, and this is the reason I don't want to go further into the answer, is because maybe that changes how weather dependent the system is. Maybe that makes it more stable in a way where you could do the operations in higher wind limits or something like that. But until
Elon
we
did
see that,
tweet
we
that. So
say that
yesterday,
again.
Elon did tweet yesterday that once the tower was the thing doing the lifting, that winds would be less of a concern.
Not well, then there you go.
Yeah.
So exactly that. So, well, there you go. See, we were on air all day yesterday. Thank you, Dawes.
No worries. Yeah, no worries.
All right. Let's see. Harold coming in with 50 euros super chat. That is very generous of you. Thank you very much, Harold. Crowdfunding pledge to catch S20 at Kauai and refurbish with Danger Cam attached for in-flight NSF coverage for future launches. Yeah, yeah. Let's. You think SpaceX would allow us to just attach Danger Cam right on the side of Starship?
Oh, that. Oh boy, man! If there's one person at SpaceX who's listening, and you know who you are, don't panic.
Not gonna happen. Don't worry.
We need like a frog cam, like a camera that looks like a frog, and it could attach to the side, maybe a bat. I don't know. We've
Yeah.
seen animals hitch a ride sort of on the way to space before.
Oh, that
Maybe
Hmm.
that wouldn't
not.
bat or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Ryan. Ryan Qualley says, just want to say thank you for everything. The coverage you guys provide inspired me to become an aerospace engineer. Wow. And now
Oh,
I'm going into
awesome.
my second year of college. Thank you so, so much. That is awesome, Ryan.
That's fantastic, man.
Yeah. Pete Laurie says, I hope we see history in the making today. Thanks to everyone at NSF for bringing this to us. Yeah, it's our pleasure. Um, I,
Absolutely.
I have a feeling we'd probably just be watching it anyway. So
Yes.
might as well share it.
Well, that is true. We were watching the Starbase Live cameras for a long time before we actually made them all public. So we do have a history of watching what's going on. It's true.
Yeah. Kate B, I had
Lift
my
off. Look at that. Look at
Oh,
that.
Oh, look at
It
here
is
that.
we
up.
go.
It's up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
We
the
are
workers down
swinging.
All
there,
right, everyone on podcast mode. Come look, come look, come
Yeah,
look.
yep.
yeah. Unless you're driving. Or
Wow.
Yes, unless you're driving, don't do that. But oh my gosh, it's up. Yeah, look at that.
The
Oh
workers
man.
down there weren't just whistling Dixie, they were actually preparing that to lift off. And you can see multiple folks down there on taglines, those lines they use to sort of keep a handle on it. But it has cleared the transport stand, which doesn't take much. It's like a foot. But
Yeah.
hopefully this is an indication it's on its way up. You can actually see
Oh, going
it
up more.
rotating on both the camera views. Yep.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's just like a natural rotation, or I see a tagline just off camera to the right. I wonder if they're actively rotating it, or if it's just like a natural.
Yeah. It's going. Look at that.
Oh yeah, they're doing this tagline closer to the camera too. Oh wow. The world stops when Starship takes off.
Oh
Yeah,
my
it really
gosh.
does.
All right. Well, I'm going to continue here. So, Michael,
Yeah.
we never mind when you butt in because it's always good news. So just
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
interrupt me anytime. Kate B saying, I had my breakfast hours ago in London. Hope y'all are having a great breakfast
Oh,
today. You'll need the energy. Awesome.
Yeah. And I'm going to say it out loud real quick. Michael, I'm going to leave Mars Cam on the sunrise shot because it's got Starship lifting off, but the sun is coming up behind the clouds as well. So I'm just going to leave that wide like that. Then we've got highway. I'm checking all the cameras right now.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Mr. Turtle saying, have any of you read the book Red Mars? They built a space elevator on Mars because lower tensile strength. Thoughts on space elevators?
Yeah. The only elevator I'm
I
interested
have
in right
not.
now.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm interested in the big crane lifting Starship right now. Y'all, I think we're going to do a little bit of a pause on some of the super chats and stuff like this because the Starship is going up. So I think look at it in the background. There's actually people in the background on is that a container wall or something? I'm trying
Yeah.
to figure out what they're standing on back there. Some serious telephoto compression probably, but folks that are sort of observing in the back. There's some stairs going up to it, I guess. I don't know if I have the context to identify what that is. It's not Pad B, because you can see Pad B in Mary's shot with the thrust rams on it.
They install a viewing platform? Oh, wait,
I don't
is
know.
that the base of, oh, no,
I
the
j-
angles are not the same, the angles are not the same.
I'm
I
trying to get some context of what that is, but I don't know. Anybody have any ideas where those people are watching from back there?
I was kind of thinking maybe like the wall, but I don't think the angle's right. I'm not 100% sure where Jack is in relation, but looking at both views, I think I can kind of figure it out. He's kind of off
Yeah,
on probably
Jack
on
is
one of the dunes.
significantly there you go. Jack is significantly to the left there. I still don't know what that is. Is that
Yeah,
the top of
I
the
have no
berm?
idea. Yeah.
I'm gonna
It's
try
it's
to
it's
look
the
up.
top of the control room at the suborbital pad, I think.
Ah,
Uh,
that would explain why there's stairs
Oh,
going to the top.
okay.
Ah, what a shot, though. I think there's some serious telephoto
Wow.
compression going on there, but thank you, Michael, for widening that up for a second. That's just. Can we put a camera there? Like
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
anywhere,
right.
basically. Can we put cameras anywhere?
Yeah, I'm trying to look up aerial photos to see if I
Yeah.
can.
So it's interesting because the taglines aren't really out to the side right now. They're sort of all going straight down. They don't look like they're on a lot of tension. That I see one or two maybe that are going over the side, but a couple are just hanging straight down if I'm seeing that correctly. And again, slow and steady wins the race here. Crane operators got the load on the boom, actually making sure that everything's good. You don't just, okay, let's go, run with it. Making sure that everything is good here.
Yeah, and it's not moving too much. This is
Yeah.
boding well.
Reference
What
for
is
where
it?
Jack is. The yellow crane is moving in both of the frames, so you can get the reference point of
Ah,
where he's
Ah.
shooting. Yeah,
So
so
Jack
that
is
is over to the
significantly off to the
suborbital.
left.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
No kidding. Again, y'all, if you're just joining us, you can see on both the cameras that Ship 20 has lifted off the crane assisted takeoff early this morning. Right, it looks like it was started going up right around 7 a.m. and they're sort of holding right now. Again, making sure everything's good. Crane operator making sure it's good, making sure everything's clear on the pad and stuff like that. You got a lift, a sort of a spotter lift in the upper left-hand corner there. You can see it sort of hovering over the backside, and that's one of the big lifts as well. That's not a small lift just going to the table. That lift is going to have to go all the way up to the top of the booster because the destination for the ship, as far as Elon has said anything, is the top of booster 4 there that's already on the OLP. Hey, also, you can really see here in Mary's shot, they painted those rusty legs of the OLP. Those have been there for a year or something, and they've painted them a nice gray. Again, SpaceX very much not just making it work, but making sure that it looks nice too. Also, hey, that's going to protect the orbital launch pillars or whatever we were calling those things from the salt air out there.
yeah. Yeah, they've got another lift going up too.
Yeah. Look
Yeah.
at the
Look at
lighting
it.
from this angle.
Mm.
Jeez.
Oh, I just mwah, chef's kiss in case the
Yep.
sound didn't come through.
Yeah. Look at that. There's actually the ratcheting mechanism. It's not a come along. Hey, crane operators or somebody. I saw a tweet about those things, but those are like a ratcheting mechanism that they'll use to, I guess, gain control of it. What could they possibly attach it to?
That's a
Up
that's
there.
a really good question.
I wonder
Yeah.
if there's something on
I
the sides of the booster. Huh.
We shall see what the plan is. I mean, lifts are going up to the
Yep.
side of the booster now, so this is probably how they're gonna do it. They just have to go up in those, DOS, what are they called again? You told me yesterday.
Ah, ops, aerial work platforms,
Aerial work
AWPs.
AWPs. See, we need to start the list of the Starship acronym list, which would infuriate Elon if we did,
Yeah.
because he doesn't like
Yeah.
acronyms. But
Yeah, they're aerial work platforms, and the big
Yeah.
one they have there at Starbase actually goes up to 300 feet, Which is interesting because
Yeah.
300 feet is very close to the top of the booster right now. Between the orbital launch platform, the mount, and the booster itself, that thing is going to be way up near the top. You know what we're going to get from the angle as it goes higher?
What's that?
Engines.
Oh, yes, the Raptor
Oh,
Vax, the Raptor Vax, yes.
Remember, there's 6 engines on the bottom of Ship 20 here. There are 3 of the big nozzled Raptor vacuum engines, the RVAX, and then 3 of the sea-level optimized Raptors. That is going to be, the higher that goes, the more we're going to get that angle. But look at this. Jack and Mary with the tag team out there. Mary's got the wide shot. Jack's got the zoomed shot. Gah. I don't know if they've got comms right now, but if y'all can hear us, these are the fantastic views. Thank you so much for rolling out so early so we can get these. Maybe that's a wind speed indicator. You see the little tag on there?
yeah. Yeah, and it's
You're
really
right.
not blowing too hard.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
joking. I don't think that that's actually what it's for, but
Well, right, but
yeah.
it can be used as such.
Yeah. Look at this. Yeah, I stopped
so
working on the time lapse, by the way.
yeah, oh,
No,
I would have too.
I wonder
Oh,
why
it's
those 2
so
tiles
incredible.
aren't there. Like,
It ran out.
it ran out. Well, they got a shipment. Elon
Yeah.
said that the tiles weren't on there because they needed more, and
You
he said
needed
they were
more.
arriving. So
Yeah.
massive shout out to the workers who rolled out until 4 a.m. They were installing tiles until 4 a.m. last night, and now you have the fully tiled Starship. When it rolled out yesterday, it was sort of like the Death Star, right? It was like missing some pieces. It's
Mhm.
not
Yeah.
not fully
Excuse
ready.
me.
Yes.
Doing its best Columbia impression is how
Right.
we phrase it around here, good sir. Li-
There you
Like
go.
the Death Star.
Well, I'm trying to get into a fully
No, I love it. No,
operational
I love it.
Starship. Anyways,
No, man. I love it. I love it.
just
That was
trying to
awesome.
set up. So it's just now cleared the bottom of the orbital launch mount. So the table that
Yeah.
Super Heavy goes on top to, the booster. Remember, Starship has a 2-part system. It's got the Super Heavy booster that gets it up and up out of the atmosphere, gets it on its way, and then the Starship itself gets all the way up to orbital velocity, both intended to be fully reusable, and it's just cleared where the booster needed to go. We're just getting the first sight at the very top of the frame
Look at
there of
that. There
those
they
Raptor
are.
vacs. Look at that.
There they are. Look at it.
Wow.
Ah, there they go out of frame, man. Oh, okay.
I
Can't wait to
better
get them back.
I better check in on the other cameras and make sure
Ooh.
everything else is set correctly. I'm supposed to be paying attention to that. I'm distracted, y'all.
All right, look. Just take a minute to look at that. Ship
Michael,
20 with all of its tiles, most of its tiles,
uh,
getting lifted to the super heavy booster. Unreal. And there are the 3 Raptor vacs installed.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. Look
Michael,
at
if you've
that.
got stable feed, check highway real quick. Just briefly. Hard to beat these views, but and their engines. Of course, now look at that.
Oh,
I know we're about to see those engines, but look at Starship with the crane there in the foreground and the tower with the sun rising behind it.
That is gorgeous.
I'm going to let
look at
that go
that.
completely off frame before I touch that camera. Sorry, let's go back to those engines. I was just checking
Yeah.
cameras and
What a time lapse that shot's gonna be.
wow.
Oh, the nose is just about at the same level as the top of Super Heavy.
Yep. I'm actually going to get that one over on Starbase Live. So sometimes we show cameras that we're not using here on Starbase Live, and I think that's a good candidate.
Yeah. And it does look like they're still holding on to those taglines that are sort of closer to the camera.
Yeah.
Just kind of making sure it doesn't start to
Oh,
rotate too much.
and look, the lift's all the way up near the top of the booster now.
Yep.
Yep.
Those massive aerial work platforms
Getting everyone in
carrying,
position.
yeah, spotters on all angles too. Look at that. Oh, you can see it from there.
Yeah, there's
God.
3, or is there a 4th one on the other side?
You see 3 from this angle? I
Mhm.
think there's a total of 4. I'm not sure on the angle of that one in the background if we were sort of seeing it double there,
Yeah.
but all hands on deck. It looks like they've rolled all their aerial access out to the pad to assist in the operation this morning. Look at that.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Oh, it's so cool. Hey, thanks everybody for watching with us, getting up early
Yeah.
or staying up late, depending on what part of the world that you're in. Um, if this is your first time here, hey, make sure you subscribe so you can find your way back. There's a lot of other really awesome things to come that we're going to bring to you live from Boca Chica. Hey, feel free to hit that like button. It helps us out. It helps put us up a little higher on the YouTube algorithm and whatever.
Whatever. Yeah, whichever way.
I was gonna say there are 28. Thank you to the 28,000 of you who are watching. But yeah,
Jeez.
hit that like button for us if you can, uh, please. But
Wow.
look at the Raptors in there. Look at the Raptor vacuum. The rap. Okay. I'm always gonna call them the Raptor Vacs. I mean
Yeah,
vacuum
yeah.
Raptors. Just bear with me. This is my little quirk because of how it's written out. But man, just look at those. I mean, the expansion nozzle size is just mind-boggling.
Yeah, it's enormous.
I really I know Elon wanted this stack yesterday, but I really don't think he lost out by doing it with the sunrise here.
Oh
No,
my
Like
not
gosh,
at
the
all.
no,
lighting from every
no.
angle is amazing. The turbulence is low. It's just, I mean, honestly, we're really the winners here with the sunrise lift because the,
Yeah,
the picture's just so fantastic.
Yeah.
Gah.
And looks like we're almost halfway up the booster here.
yeah. You.
What a sight. Again, y'all, this is important. This is the first time a Starship has been mated to the Super Heavy. Not just, I guess, mated to the full stack Super Heavy, but on the orbital launch mount. This is where it's
Yeah,
supposed to go to space from. This isn't like, oh, we put some pieces together in the yard or, oh, we did a test fit over here. This is the actual pad. This
yeah.
is where it's supposed to launch from for its orbital flight test later this year. I'm going to say it that way.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it that way. Later this year, and whether it's tomorrow or December, that's an accurate statement. But this is the real deal. This is important.
It uh, yeah, I mean, this is akin to the first time the Saturn V was fully stacked
Yeah.
Yeah.
inside the vehicle assembly building. The first time the shuttle was fully stacked. The first time a Soyuz was fully put together, right? I mean, this is like the historical equivalent
Yep. And
of those major moments and steps forward
and the
in history, and it's just incredible
ah,
to see it.
the public visibility too. Like you get the stack in the VAB. Sorry,
Right.
NASA folks. And you put the shuttle on the stack in the VAB, and you can't see it. You gotta
Right.
get NASA's photos and stuff like that. And here, it's on the side of a state highway in Texas on the public beach. Anybody down there can see this happening
Yeah.
right now. It's access that we didn't have when they
Yeah.
I
did
mean,
this with shuttle, when they did this with Saturn V.
well, and it's the access we wish we could get, and we wish that they
Oh,
were okay with SLS. We'd
you
love
know?
to be there, filming SLS doing this inside the VAB for the very first time.
Yeah.
And, and we'll see if we get to.
Yep.
But
EGS,
yeah,
if you're watching, you know how to get in contact with us. Like,
yeah.
we're here. We'd be happy to do this sort of coverage for SLS too.
Because this
Yeah.
is so, I mean, it's the historic moment of it, and I mean, yeah, there's a long way to go before they're ready for this stack to make the launch attempt, right?
Yep.
There's a lot of testing that's left. There's a lot of paperwork. There's a lot of technical stuff that still needs to be put to rest, right? So, whenever it happens, but just the fact that they're stacking it, that they're doing the fit check now, and yes, it's a fantastic photo op as well. You can't gloss over that fact either. But I mean, just look at this shot that's about to happen, and
Yeah.
look
Yeah.
at and look at this. I mean, it's just incredible to see it hanging there because it's exactly what you said, Das. We never get to see this out in the open.
Yeah.
It's
It
incredible.
It is. You want to make the public aware of what's going on. You want to build excitement. This sort of access makes it happen. Letting us do this sort of thing. You focus on building the rocket. You focus on stacking the rocket. We will show up with cameras. Just give us this sort of access so we can share it with people.
Exactly. Exactly.
Ah. I'm like a kid in a candy shop right now with all
Yeah.
these cameras. I I handled the tight shot from the beach.
Yeah.
Look, it's just
Oh,
It's
I
still
mean,
moving up.
I know you just see it very slowly. I mean, inching its way up the final barrels of the methane tank of the booster there. It's just incredible. The methane tank part of the boosters are the horizontal barrel sections, and then the vertical sections up near where the grid fins attach is part of the intertank structure.
yeah.
And what you're seeing there are the stringers, the reinforcements that are installed around it. Because those are sometimes structurally weaker parts of the vehicle, so you attach stringers to them
Yep.
on under high stress areas so they can properly withstand that sort of stress. So what you're seeing there is totally no
Yeah.
6 Raptors.
Mm.
Are those pieces of foam
It's what
between
it
the
It
yes.
sea
looks
level
like it.
Raptors?
It's like you got something
Packing
from
peanuts.
IKEA and you put like the little thing that keeps it from rubbing together during shipping. That is exactly
Yes,
what
that's
that looks like.
I
Padding,
love
Raptor
it.
pads.
Hey, it
Raptor
doesn't have to be
pads.
complicated, you know?
Oh my god, that's amazing. I love it. I love it. But see, and it's those little tiny touches that I love. You
Yeah.
know, those things you would never, never, never think of, but like, yeah, how do you protect something when you're moving it? Just stick
Just
some foam. Like,
just space tape some foam between the engine bells. God, we don't need a $3.2 million rig to do it. Just get some foam in there.
Whatever.
oh my
That's
god.
space age foam, man.
Space foam,
Yeah.
you're right.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Human rated foam.
I
Man,
just yeah.
this is just incredible, and 36,000 of you are now watching this along with us. It's incredible. Welcome to wherever you are watching around the world, and welcome to just basically what has descended into every 3 minutes, us going, "Oh my lord, look,
Yeah.
look at that."
God, you know what we're gonna need? We're gonna have to update the Texas Tank Watcher stuff in the store.
Oh yeah,
We need
100%.
to have the silhouette of Starship on its way to be stacked as Super Heavy. We'll have to talk to the store guy about it. Y'all, if you haven't been to the shop
Yeah.
yet, shop.nasaspaceflight.com, we have all sorts of different merch. We love the silhouette things because you sort of get the silhouette. The original Texas Tank Watchers with the starships on the suborbital pads. We've got the Texas Tank Watchers designs there. Hop on over to shop.nasaspaceflight.com and check them out. Another great way to support what we're doing here. I mean, it takes a lot to get the cameras rolled out to the feed, and every time you do a super chat or you let an ad roll or you pick up something from the store, like we got hats and mugs and all sorts of stuff, like Wind Hop is in there, and we've got some Wind Orbit Starship, just every different type of Starship fan merch, and it helps us keep the lights on and keep the data flowing here so that we can continue sharing this. But we have to get, just looking at the angles from the beach, we have to get a silhouette of that like going up and
Mhm.
make that the new Texas Tank
Ah,
Watchers.
it's almost
Gah.
high enough.
Yeah.
It's about to cross the threshold of the
Yeah.
booster. Look at that.
Yeah. It's not much longer, y'all. I mean, yeah, we went live at just the right time.
Yep.
Ah,
Absolutely.
and there it goes.
I
It
That's
is
it.
it is higher than the booster right now.
no,
So,
Michael, highway.
Oh.
oh, oh, look at that angle.
Look at that.
Oh man.
The
And
sky doing as best of a Mars impression for our Mars ship. Look at that. Ah, look at
that is
that.
it's so cool. I wonder if Mary has a camera set up at her normal sunrise spot with the reflective water. I don't know if she has one there, if she just has it over there she's at.
Yeah. No, they would be all the way out of the beach. I don't think there's any unattended cameras.
Okay.
So,
This is so cool. Yeah, and the lines look like they have cleared the top of the booster as well. So they should start rotating over here momentarily.
yeah.
Oh man.
That's I will say once again that SpaceX is very good at doing things that require you to suspend your disbelief. Like,
That's true.
this looks like something from a sci-fi movie right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
It
Yep.
it just does. It does not look like something that you would think is happening in real life, and, even I sometimes, I look at this and I'm like, "Ah, that's a really cool rendering," and it's not. I built these cameras myself. We've installed these cameras ourselves, like, with our own hands. I know that the photons are coming to the lens, and I am not skilled enough to do this with CGI. All I can do is point a camera at something that's happening in real life. This is just Gah.
It looks like it may have stopped going up.
Yeah.
Which might be about right. They might be high enough to begin the swing over. Little hard to tell from the angles.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's swinging right now, I think.
Just wow.
I think you're right, Michael. It is. It is. They're translating it over because the crane is disappearing behind it now.
Mm.
Yep. So the swing over has begun.
Workers are there. They're ready to help position it perfectly.
Yeah.
And one of those lifts went back down. So it looks like there may only be two lifts right now. Maybe there's a third on the back. Yeah, looked like just two. I mean, it is quite reminiscent of Shuttle, just the way it looks with the heat tiles. It's a very cool looking
What
machine
I
there.
Yeah, what I love about the tile pattern right now is you can tell the areas where the modeling is suggesting that the plasma is going to flow
Hmm.
a bit differently because you can see where they have altered the line of the
Yeah.
tiles, and that
Yes.
is on that would 100% be on purpose and based on where the modeling is showing the plasma flow and how that's going to work over the vehicle and around the aero surfaces like that, which will disturb the plasma regime as it re-enters. So
Yeah. So
that's just
like
incredible.
especially you could tell like up at the upper flaps where yeah, it almost wraps around like the backside a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the translation continues.
I I'm having trouble pointing the cameras because I'm actually shaking a slight bit, which is very weird. That's not a thing that happens usually, and this is
You mean
like
like shaking with excitement, or do you need to go
no,
eat something? Or
no, literally pointing the cameras, and I am a little bit. I God.
look at oh my
Ay, ay,
just
ay.
look oh my gosh, just look at this engine
Yeah,
placement.
yeah.
Ross, I don't know if I'm a robot, but I am also shaking. This is
We
amazing.
Jack, we
Oh my
got you. You
god.
sounded great. This is just I mean, I know the feeling. It's happened like Falcon Heavy, and the launch is about to go, and you're there, and you got your hand on the tripod, and you're gonna try to track the launch, and just you feel the adrenaline, and you're excited. You sort of like feel it
Yeah.
in your chest, and that I am not doing anything. I don't have my hand on a tripod right now. I'm sitting in front of a computer, basically playing video games with cameras, and I still, this is
Yeah.
you're never again going to see this for the first time. This
Yeah.
is
No, and as Michael just said on Twitter, and it's true, moments away from it being stacked.
yeah, yeah, just
Oh my god. I mean, just I mean, seriously, the pe the people of South Padre Island and Brownsville, oh my
oh
gosh,
gosh,
go see, go
look at
look at
this.
it from a distance up close. This is I mean, I really hope if you're listening from there that you like really understand how much your little part of the world is about to change.
Yeah.
And will never ever be the same. And for as much as it has changed in the last 2 years, get ready.
Yeah,
Yep.
Get ready. This is amazing, but oh my gosh, go see it.
Absolutely.
I mean, and especially like just take a moment if you're in South Padre Island to walk into your front yard or walk to the beach or walk wherever it is and look at it from a distance
Yeah.
as well. And then go see it up close because you will really, really get. Because there's one thing about the Kennedy Space Center that I love, and Steven, and Dos, curious on your thoughts on this too, because the fact that you can see all of the pads and everything at Kennedy from like 12 miles away across the river and then
yeah,
you drive up to them makes you appreciate that scale so much more and what you
absolutely.
are seeing from that distance. So go do both while this is stacked. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's very cool to be able to look out there and see the launch pad, see the active uh like the place where we go to space. But Boca Chica is about to become one of those places,
Yeah. It
and
absolutely so is. And
and yeah, and the scale is immense. Like it's crazy to see, and I hope everyone gets a chance to like go to a place like this. Kennedy Space Center, even where they've got the Saturn V, and it blows my mind that
yeah.
humans are able to create things like this.
I don't even think immense is the right word. Overwhelming
Yeah,
is is more the right is
Yeah.
more the right
sensory
word.
overload.
Yeah. I mean, because Mary's just saying it's incredible to watch it out there. Mary's saying that a minute
Yeah.
ago on Twitter with a picture of it in the air. And yeah, I mean, it's just the size is overwhelming.
Oh, there's a camera operator up there. Looks like.
Because that's the one thing that a lot of people have said, and it's interesting to hear launch teams and people who work with vehicles like this say it too. But they say, like the thing that gives you the true scale of it is when you drive out to it on the launch pad
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you can see it next to other standing structures. That's what gets it to really click. But again, I mean, like we've said, this is the full stack is 118 meters tall from the bottom part of the Raptors to the tip of the nose of ship, from the booster to the ship, and it beats the Apollo Saturn V in height, and it beats the Soviet N1 as well in height. So by height, the biggest, and by thrust with those Raptor engines at the bottom, the most powerful.
Yeah.
Absolutely
oh,
incredible.
yeah. We're
And
about to
it is
see it.
almost in position. It is almost in position over the
Yeah.
booster. Oh my word.
Oh wow! Look
Oh,
at
look at
that.
that. Look at that.
Danger Cam having fun on its beach vacation there. Look at that.
I mean, this is we've seen the renders before, and and I've known for a long time that this is going to be a huge rocket. But seeing that wide shot is like,
Well,
oh my goodness.
and hopefully
Yeah.
it helps too. They've provided humans for scale.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. That's why they're there.
yeah, like yeah, that's why they're there. Yeah.
Still kind of swinging over into place.
Michael, if I miss something with the camera, like sing out because I'm like I think I've got
Oh,
them all, but
just
wow.
oh.
Oh, that
Even from
even
look at
that's
that.
good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Uh,
That's from the river.
I was gonna say, is that river? Oh my
Uh-huh.
gosh.
Yeah.
Very
I'm
cool.
okay. A very Krause. Look at this. Michael's batting the cycle with the cameras.
Ah, look at that.
The sun's still rising in the back there.
I see
Every shot's
people. Oh, go ahead.
Every shot
every
is
shot's
every
giving
shot's
us a
amazing.
bird. Yeah, every
Yeah.
shot's giving us a bird flying across. Like the bird's just like Boca Chica Air Force patrolling out there this morning. Folks, again, this is the first time ever that a Starship has been on top. It's almost there of a super heavy booster. Elon wants thousands of these things. And imagine 10 years from now, 15, 20 years from now, looking back and saying, I saw the first one of those they put up.
Hmm. I see a lot of
On
people in the chat saying like, "I was here, and this
Yeah.
is, yeah, this is historic," and yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, not lying when we say this is the equivalent of like when people were there the first time they put a Saturn V together.
Yeah.
To me,
Yeah.
this is in a lot of
Jack?
ways just as important as serial number 8 or Starhopper or SN5 and 6.
Mhm.
Like this is another one of those big moments. And
Yep.
yeah, they're just putting a thing on top of another thing. No big deal. Why do you guys care so much and watch this stuff for 12 hours at a time? Well, we care because if you look 2 years ago, we're not even to Starhopper's 2-year anniversary. So when we're at the 2-year anniversary of this particular event, this stacking, what will the current state of things look like in 2 years from now, given that we've come so far in the last 2 years? And that's why I think we're all so excited, right? Because this is history and
Yeah.
it's also the future. And that's why I like to alternately scream history and future at times like this, because I mean, we're watching something that will go down in the history books. And at the same time, we're watching something that we hope is a harbinger for. Wait, harbinger is a bad thing, isn't it? We hope this is
Herald.
you know,
Herald.
a
Harold,
herald.
yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you,
Herald is
thank you so
positive.
much.
Harbinger's bad.
Yeah, we hope this is a herald of more cool stuff to come in the coming years with the Starship system. So I'll shut up now. I just wanted to be poetic for a second. This is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, that's a really
It
good
is.
point. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And
How
to
much has
the
happened in just the last little bit, and how much
yeah.
will happen in the next little bit?
Yeah, and to the more than 53,000 of you watching with us right now, just
Wow,
incredible.
it's so cool that so
Incredible, and
many of
thank
y'all are
you for coming
interested.
to spend this time with us. Exactly,
It,
exactly, Stephen. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. Yeah.
no, actually, I think I was interrupting you.
We'll call it
Call it a
Call it
even
a
draw.
draw.
then. Yeah. There we go.
It's interesting that it's rotated how it is. I sort of would have expected it to be a little bit counterclockwise more than it, like, so that the windward side was directly in between the grid fins, and if that makes sense, and it's kind of offset a little bit.
Yeah.
Does anyone else? I
I,
wonder
I
if they're gonna rotate it again or what.
maybe so. I would think the grid fins to be even with the flaps, or maybe you want it 90 degrees from the flaps, so the so the flaps are in between the wider area between the grid fins. I'm not sure what their idea is here, but
I
certainly
think
keeping track of it.
I think it's so if you look at it and the fins are full and the aero surfaces are fully deployed, that they would be equidistant between the fins, the grid fins at their closest point.
Yeah,
I think that's how that's going to be.
that's
At least from
interesting.
renders we've seen. Again,
Yeah.
we'll see if the renders are correct.
Well, I guess we know that we don't want the grid fins occluded during a pitch move, like a pitch program. So you want the grid fins sort of to your left and right relative to your pitch, right? And we know that that's the way that Starship had launched as well, with the fins to the left and right relative to the pitch, as it did this. It didn't do a lot of pitch earlier, right? Because it was just doing this suborbital hops. But maybe they both have to be in that position, and you can't have Starship sideways, so the grids are sort of one set, or sorry, the fins are sort of one set leeward, one set windward, and the grid fins opposite that. Maybe they both have to be there on the side to get equal aero loading, you know?
And I would think that you
Yeah.
would, you would want like the, I guess the very like the top of the back facing the tower, right? Because that's I think that's where you're going to load in, or I would assume, at
That
least
does
from
make sense.
renders.
Yeah, that does make sense. You don't want the heat shield on the tower side, because if you're going to have a crew access arm at some point or something
And
Mhm.
like that,
a
that's,
fueling arm.
yeah, fueling arm on the tower side. That is a great point, Steve.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you can also see that this is arranged in a sort of different way, right? The tower is at a pointy side closest to the ship, not a flat
Right.
side. So I, that's an interesting design choice that probably largely has to do with those catch arms and how everything has to like reposition and where the arms have to
Yep.
swing over based on exactly what you were just saying. You need the non-heat shielded side toward the tower because ideally you're not going to touch the heat shield in between
Yep.
flights. You're just going to pick it up, stack it, and go again.
It's going down, it looks like.
It
Yep.
is. Look at this. They're
They're
lowering
lowering
it.
it.
Oh, they're lowering it.
The tiles make it. I
Yeah,
mean,
the tiles make it. Yeah.
It looks so slick, yeah.
yeah. It very much does. I mean, it's got such shuttle vibes because even though we know that it's stainless steel, the parts that we can see that are stainless steel still on the whole look very light. Like they don't look shiny, just the contrast of the dark black, it makes it look like like sort of shuttle, the contrast between white and black on the shuttle, right, Chris?
Oh, it does. It totally does.
Getting so close.
Yep.
Using human for scale, it's less than 6 feet from contact.
Yep. Less than a human away.
Less than a human, yeah. It's less than a full-grown human.
Yeah. And again, you see the little rope that's attached? You can sort of see the rope silhouetted there, and it's going down sort of to the right. That rope goes all the way to the ground, doesn't it?
It does. Yes, you
so.
can see it on the other side. It does. It goes all
can
the way to
see
the
it.
ground. Yeah, on the other camera angle, you totally can. Yeah.
God.
Like a climbing rope or something.
Yeah.
Because those come very long.
What do we say, like a maypole or something?
Yeah.
But just look at that. And it looks like it's so calm out there. Remember the cryo shell that was lifted yesterday, and that thing was sort of waving back and forth, and that was low to the ground. And this morning, just look at that thing.
Yep.
Looks like they might be doing the rotation to square it up with the grid fins.
Yep. It takes a lot to make us be quiet, y'all.
Yeah.
I mean, if
I'm
you've watched,
I'm also researching something for a point here in a second.
ah,
I mean, I can talk while everyone's gobsmacked. I'm sitting here watching this thing get set down and just reminded that we're out here the way we are because of the support from all of our members and everyone
Yeah.
super chatting and everyone watching. And it's just, this is an amazing piece of history. And the fact that we get to broadcast it to the entire world is really, really amazing. It's really
Yeah.
cool. Like I'm standing next to the camera or one of the cameras that's bringing you these views. And
Yep.
yesterday, Mary and I set up another one of the cameras bringing you these views. And
Yep.
it's an honor. It's really cool that we get to do this. And it's really cool that you all care. And like Steven said, human for scale, we're less than 6 feet away. We're so close. We're
Yep.
so close. I can see people on the tower. I'm not going to change my camera view, but I can see people on the tower with my other lens.
Yep. We've got them in silhouette, Jack. So on the highway cam, you can see the silhouette of people up on the tower.
There's a drone. There was just a drone just before we cut to this shot. There was a drone entering the frame.
Yeah, there's been an Inspire 1 flying around all morning. So,
Nice.
you know,
It's the upper
it's not
left-hand
like
side.
Say what?
Uh,
Oh.
Or do
I
we
don't
see
see
it
it
anymore?
now.
You don't see it
No,
anymore.
it
Okay,
drifted
gotcha.
back out of frame.
It drifted back out. All right, gotcha.
Yeah, that's not their security drone. That is a get nice imagery drone. So hopefully
Yeah.
we see some cool photos from that thing or video.
Yeah. For a second there, I saw the workers on the lift on the left, and for just a moment, I thought they were standing on the grid fins.
Oh wow. I don't think that's
That's
allowed.
that's a no step. Yes.
Yeah, that's a no step area.
What's the scene like out there, Jack? Is there just a ton of people watching this right now? Oh, he's back off comms. I see.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
muted.
You can see the drone right there orbiting.
Yep. Yep.
Yep. Yeah, and it looks like the flap is more squared away with those grid fins now from
Yep.
this angle.
Thanks, Michael.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, look at that.
With the clouds drifting in the back.
Yeah. The silhouettes, it's going for the silhouettes of the folks there you can see on the lift down there. And then
Oh,
look at the squid, the attachment slings at
yeah,
the top. Just you really get to see those in silhouette with that.
you really do. Incredible.
Just
Oh, look at that.
thanks for sharing this with us, folks.
Just, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Hey,
just
I
wanted to point out this very generous super chat, $100 from Brent Wolf. Thank you very much.
yeah.
We really appreciate that.
Wow. Thanks. I'm glancing over at the queue, y'all, and there's so many kind words and stuff like that. Thanks for providing important
Yeah.
coverage. Been watching many months. Thanks for many months of outstanding coverage in Boca Chica. Can't wait to see it in person. Started watching your channel when they rolled out Booster 3. You guys do an awesome job, and I love the random tidbits of knowledge. Thank you and keep it up. The future is now. Just so many kind words over there, y'all. I was
Yeah,
here. There you go.
I was here.
I
Yeah.
was here.
Yep.
I'm seeing people in the chat pointing out there's now 60,000 watching
Wow.
along with us. Welcome, all of you.
Bringing us the optimistic future. We need this. Greg, you're not wrong.
Indeed.
Again, just slow and steady here. You get eyes on it. I wonder how many eyes are on this right now. I mean, up close, the operators, all the communication required. Remember, the person driving the crane is all the way down at the bottom,
Yeah.
right? In the cab of the crane. There is one person at the controls of this massive crane that has to, within inches,
Oh
align
my
the
gosh.
Starship with the top of the booster. This isn't like, just kind of get it close. This is the amount of teamwork and communication required for this is
The amount of teamwork
amazing.
and communication, indeed.
And trust as well.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, all the folks that are up here working on this, everybody at that site, the trust that's put into the single person down at the controls of that crane right now.
Man.
Yeah, sometimes we talk about like what I wonder what kind of camera views the crane operator might have. I wonder if they've got one of those cameras up there in the skirt that's looking down, like some of the views we've seen during test flights.
Yeah. Well, I imagine the crane operator's cab may look sort of like the control room for the studio here
Right.
with cameras all over the place, y'all. Just
Very well might.
just another testament to what we can get done when you've got inspiration and teamwork and trust and all the things that go into something like this. That's what we need more of.
It really is, yeah. This is, I mean, it, it's just absolutely incredible to watch this. But thinking back to the historical nature of it, one thing that I had wanted to go back to find was just a little bit of comparison for the dates because this is really cool. So going back to like similar historic moments in history for vehicles, the Vostok K rocket, which would be the one that would eventually launch the first human into orbit, rolled out, fully integrated for the first time in December of 1960. The Saturn V rolled out fully integrated for the first time on August 26th, 1967. The shuttle Enterprise rolled out fully integrated on May 1st, 1979. And jump to now for Starship
Wow.
with a full integration on August 6th, 2021. Nice little 61-year progression there.
Oh, wow. It looks like about, I don't know, 2 feet, 3 feet?
Yeah.
Probably
One,
3
one,
based
one
on that,
meter.
yeah.
We'll say 1 meter.
Yeah. Less than a
Yes.
torso, like from your belt up to your
Less
neck. It's less than that. I'm just looking
Yeah.
at the workers there.
Yeah, because the lowering, lowering is... Yeah, it's definitely lower than the last time I looked at it, yeah.
Yep. There's a big rotation.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's get this thing lined up.
To the left, to the right, to the...
And crane operators can correct me on this, but you see some of the workers there on the lift sort of keep a finger on it, right? You see that they're sort of
Oh.
reaching up and they sort of just keep a hand on it. Every time I say that, they take their hand off. But anyways,
Well, because they're wired. Well, what do you think they're watching? Like,
or they have it. What are they listening podcast mode as well? Like they can hear it. So it just gets closer and closer to a historic touchdown, I guess you could say.
A historic
Yeah.
touchdown. There we go. Yeah.
Again, remember what Elon said, that the ship is one thing and stage 0, all the infrastructure and work that goes into supporting and launching that ship, that's even more difficult, right? So the fact that they can actually stack, you can build a Starship all day long. Heck, make a row of them, parade them up and down the road. That means nothing unless we can actually get them on top of the boosters,
Yeah.
right?
Now, Das, I want you to stop predicting next week.
Right?
Hey, just going by this week's breakneck speed.
Yep. We're gonna see like a booster go down the road with like 3 starships in tow behind it, like a mama duck, like Mama and the Ducks behind it. Like it looked like
It
penguins actually. It looked like
takes its
straight off
Oh,
National
it would,
Geographic.
right? It totally would. It takes its launch flock with it.
Yeah. I have to get like Attenborough or something over here to talk about the mating habits of the wild starship or something.
See, that would be incredible if we did like a video of like starships in the wild, but did it as if it was like a nature show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be funny.
I mean, we've got plenty of camera angles that are sort of like with plants in the way. Like
Oh,
they're in a blind or something.
that, and we've got so much like video of like starships in various stages of production we could totally do. And as the parent looks lovingly at its offspring, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
And we've got Chris B, who can do a David Attenborough impression.
You go.
I hope he just laughed at his desk.
Yeah.
Or-
At least, like, I'm over here thinking, like, can I even attempt a David Attenborough impression without embarrassing
Don't.
myself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't.
Rule number 1, don't do real accents, please. It never ends well.
What if I was really good at it and I didn't know?
Off air.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
try
practice
in front of
off
the
air.
mirror first. Like
Yeah.
So here's what I want, y'all. What are we at? We're at 14,200 likes right now, roughly. Don't do it yet. I mentioned it. Don't click it yet. But when it touches down, I want to see if we can skyrocket that number.
There you
Yes.
go.
Tell us in chat. There goes the drone as well. Look at that.
Oh, the
right
drones
in
have
front of
been
the tiles.
oh my gosh, and look at how the I mean, just how the sunrise is now reflecting off of all the tiles.
Yeah.
Yep.
Look at that. You can see the tiles that have been cut.
Hold
Look to
the likes. Keep going,
Oh
Chris.
my god. No, I know. And it's almost down.
Hold the likes. I actually saw some people like it, then I saw it go back down again. Hold.
They unliked it.
I think they unliked it. until it touches down. When that last black gap goes away, look at that. The reflection of the sun is actually almost bridging the gap there.
It is. Look at that. Look at that.
It's
Wow.
so close. Hold.
Hold. I'm holding with y'all. I'll hit it with
Holding.
you.
Diamond hands on the likes here. It's so close.
Oh, it's inching a little bit more. It's inching
Yeah.
a little bit more. What's the equivalent? Centimetering a little bit more?
It's
I don't know. Let's.
Wow.
Oh, come on. Why is this like as exciting as a launch
yeah,
and as
really.
nerve-wracking as one?
I'm interested that we don't see any sort of alignment tabs that stick up off the booster.
I
I
think
mean,
because
from
they're on the inside and they're
yeah,
literally bending down to look. I think that's
yeah,
where they are. Yeah.
that drone too. Just
Yeah.
so many eyes on this. Like just
Mhm.
the way that we can experience this and the way that it can be shared and captured is we have so many tools that they didn't have when they were doing shuttle, when they were doing Saturn.
Mhm.
They just didn't have the same sort of technology that we have now. So like Jack is dialing
Yeah.
in to account for that reflection of the sun.
So close.
Oh, it's like docking to the space station, right? Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
holding at, like,
Yeah.
oh, they're holding at like 1/3 of a meter. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah. I'm gonna say it out loud. Well, he's touching it. There we go. You can
Yeah.
tell when he's gonna adjust something. Yeah. I was gonna say it out
Yeah.
loud so Jack can hear it. Remember, Jack and Mary are both juggling. I don't know how many cameras they have out there right now. Probably 6, 7, 8 cameras. I'm not even sure. But a lot going on, taking still photos, taking time lapses, doing the live stream cameras with just 2 operators. So they are doing a lot, and massive thanks to them for capturing this for us.
Oh, I wish I was out there with my time lapse slider doing this, peeking up from behind
Oh,
one of those dunes. Oh, that'd be so
Yeah.
cool.
Gah.
I've got a time lapse camera over to my left, just going by itself. It's not on a slider or anything, so it'll be a stationary shot. But
Yep.
I'm really, really hoping that shot comes out because it's just a wide angle.
yeah.
It hasn't moved since before sunrise kind of shot.
Wow.
Hoping
Yeah.
I get a nice sunrise sort of day to night kind of deal going on.
And I
Yep.
know
Very
and I
cool.
know a lot of you are asking on me on Twitter if we're doing a time lapse. Oh, yes.
Several, I think.
Oh, yes. Don't you worry.
Yeah, and don't forget if you're new to the channel, there are daily videos that come out, and so this one
Yep.
will be pretty epic, I think. So make
Yeah.
sure you're looking out for that daily video.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
to the 67,000 of you watching, if you are new, yeah, exactly what Steven just said. Daily videos of a whole bunch of thing and live launch coverage when we're there on the ground at launches, especially here in the US, and
Yep.
major moments in space as well. But yeah, it's all go around space here.
Yeah. It really is. I mean, you're down to like watch your fingers level now, y'all.
Yep.
This is
Yeah.
like this looks like it's a hand width away. Like if you put your hand up
Mhm.
horizontally, they're actually lowering the
Yeah,
platform. Look at that
Oh yeah.
to
to
get
Trying to
bring
get
it
better
eye
right to
views.
eye
level.
level. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look at
Jack with
that.
little enhance there.
Wonder if they'll undo that tagline before they drop it the rest of the way.
Yeah, I think they
Uh,
stick off the
I think
side
it's
a
on the
little bit.
outside. Yeah,
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
like a little
yeah. The
connection that
taglines are
comes
on the
off the side.
outside. Yeah. Oh gosh, almost.
There is an anemometer
There
on the
is.
work
Do you see that? I
platform.
just saw that. Yeah.
A wind speed indicator right next to the white hard hat,
Well,
just
a-
over
and
his right shoulder.
and that makes total sense at the heights that they're at.
Yep,
Oh, for
Yep.
sure.
Yeah, I mean, how else are you gonna know if you're within wind limits?
yep. Just right there on the aerial work platform itself.
Man, so close, so close.
Wow, Jack,
It
you
looks
picked.
like it's lowering. It looks like it's lowering
Oh
again.
yeah.
It's
Oh
so
yeah. Yeah.
close, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Look at this.
Oh, come on. Here we go.
Touchdown nominal.
Touchdown. They're touching.
It looks like they're touching.
They're touching.
I thought I saw a like a hand signal or something that looked like they touched down there.
Yep.
Oh, I saw what looked like a fist pump, but I
Yeah.
Yep.
think that was the signal that they have contact.
The camera guy has turned away from the
Camera
ship
got
and is
turned away. Yeah, I
a
think that's a good
touchdown.
indication.
Oh,
So if you
it's
were
stacked.
waiting for the likes, now is the time to release
Smash that like button, folks.
blot out the sky with the thumbs up for SpaceX here, because that right there, Starship prototype Ship 20 has been mated with Super Heavy Booster 4.
Look
Oh, it's
at
incredible. Oh,
that.
and the likes jumped up to 22,000. Holy moly.
20, it's
7:56 a.m.
27,
Central
Oh,
Time.
27 now?
Yep.
28,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So 7:56 a.m. Central Time
There
was
you go.
touchdown and mating of the two portions of that vehicle together, and just look at that.
Almost.
Incredible.
Oh man.
And more than 68,000 of you are here to witness it live with us.
Yep.
There's people.
Unbelievable.
I can hear people all around cheering. I can't tell if it's just employees or photographers or both. There's cheers erupting around the launch
Cheering.
site.
Awesome.
Excellent.
History
Woohoo!
has been made. And we're now looking at the world's most powerful rocket ever assembled.
Yeah.
Ever.
Ever.
Even before ever.
Again, everybody
floored. I'm-
watching, thank you for sharing this with us. This
Exactly
is
what I
a
was gonna
big
say.
deal. Yeah, Jack.
All the people in the chat. I was here. I was here. I was here.
Yep. They're like, now what? Now what do we do? We're
They're
good.
reviewing the footage.
Yeah.
See that video?
They're
the footage.
reviewing the footage.
Look at this.
Oh, that's
That is
awesome.
incredible.
Silhouetted. You can see it because the tower is actually in front of it. From this angle, you look through the tower to see the Starship. And it's the silhouette with the light behind it that allows us to see this.
Oh, that is incredible.
Look at that. That is going to be a cool angle for launch right there.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed it will.
Just off the side of the tower. Starship, we were like, oh, what can you really see from here? When I first went out there, the tower wasn't anywhere near this high. And I had to stand on top of my truck. I had a big four-wheel drive work truck, a Ram 2500, and I had to get in the bed and then stand on top of the cab to see the tower over the mesquite here. That's when I was out there installing this camera. And now the tower's been raised up above it, and you can see the booster over it. And then Starship fully clears the tree line there. Scrub line, really, the mesquite out there. Look at this.
And so here now we can see, because I was curious about, the part on the tower at the top that kind of protrudes out, where that is, in relation to the full stack. So it's actually above the tip of the nose.
Mm-hmm. Everybody that was worrying, oh, the Starship's not going to fit, oh, the Starship's going to be taller than the tower. As it turns out, someone at SpaceX did the math before they actually assembled this tower. And the tower is, in fact, taller than the launch mount, plus the table, plus the booster, plus the Starship. No more Photoshop required.
If I'm not mistaken, though, the crane on the tower that goes up and down the side, Mechazilla, as Elon called it, will attach to the Starship below the forward flap. So it does
That's
not
what
have
it looks
to be,
like. Yeah.
It does not have to be as tall as the tower.
Yep. That was a big thing.
Or the tower can be shorter than the Starship.
We saw the renderings originally, right? In the original renderings that, flying into New York City on the 3 o'clock Starship or whatever, it had the crane on top of the tower, and the best that we can see, the tower doesn't have those supports to install a crane on top of it like we saw in those early renderings. And so it's going to be like a shuttle or a trolley system going up and down the side of the tower that has the arms attached to it. And then on the Starship, kind of hard to see here, but you can see between the two grid fins, there's a little sort of a nub that sticks out, for lack of a better term. And that is the load point. There's one on either side between the grid fins, and that's what they use to actually lift it up. Apparently, according to Elon, that's what the arms are going to catch as well.
Which makes
So,
total sense.
mm-hmm. And then also the tower arm's able to rotate off to one side to catch it. So if I had to guess, they're not going to catch it right above the launch mount. They're going to try to catch it in the area to the left where they haven't built anything. Look at Mary's camera there, and then look how it's clear to the lower left. There's no big structures there. And if I
Yeah,
had to guess, go ahead.
Didn't Elon even tweet or say on Tim's interview that they're going to
Yeah.
catch it off to the side, not
Yep.
over the launch mount? So
Yep.
if something goes wrong, they don't roast the launch mount?
Yep, he said off to one side, and I think it's going to be to the left side from this angle on Marius' camera here because there's no structure there. They haven't put anything there, and it's on the side opposite from all the ground service equipment, right? So this is just
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see how that mechanism works, how it can catch it off the side and then rotate around the tower to actually set it back on the launch platform. That'll be really cool to see.
Yep.
Yes, it will.
That may be why it's got the pointy side of the tower towards the mount, because that sort of gives you the flat side and another pointy side towards, I'm going to say the catching side. I don't know for sure that it's going to be the catching side. But that how that works and stays attached to those two attach points, load points, that's going to be really interesting to see how that mechanism ends up working.
It will. Yeah.
You know the other thing about this shot from Mary right here? You see all the way back in the background, the high bay, and then the two starships, SN-15 and S-16, if I want to do it exactly correctly, I guess.
All right.
It's a long way from there to here, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like is it about a mile from launch site to production site?
Well, I wasn't really counting miles. I was going with the more philosophical, the amount of work required, and that's what I was trying to do. But
It's
yeah,
a
it's
long
actually
way
about
from-
1.7 miles.
Yeah.
No, Das, it's 1.7 miles. It's not that long. You can walk it.
Me, the literalist over here.
It's all good. I think now a lot of people are just sort of soaking this in, just soaking it up.
Yeah.
And of course, folks, I hope that, well, if you can hear the sound of my voice, I hope that you caught it live. But we are also going to pull all the video off the cameras. We're going to pull all the time lapses, all the still photos that Jack and Mary are taking out there. Some work leading up to it, and we are going to make that daily video. And hopefully, since the stacking operation is completed a little bit earlier this morning, maybe that video will launch this afternoon or earlier in the evening. Because I know a lot of times we're out there recording all day long, and so our videos get edited and they're put up at midnight or 1 or 2 or something like that. But you will see all of this. We'll speed it up, all the different angles, the cameras that you weren't seeing. We've got a tight shot from the beach. We've got the wide shot from the beach. We've got the river angle. We've got the silhouette angle from highway, tight and wide there. The cameras that you see on Starbase Live, I've actually got a 4-box running with just 4 different views over there right now. Jack and Mary's footage. We're going to roll that all into one experience for you. So a little bit difficult to watch the super long broadcast. Maybe you didn't see it live. Hey, you can also scroll back the broadcast. If you scroll the timeline back, you can see that.
Mhm.
But we will also get that daily video out. Look at that.
Oh man.
There's a worker up there. Lower
Is there?
left-hand corner, right above SpaceX, taking photos, actually, a photographer.
Oh yeah, you see him.
Look at that. And the flag's still waving up there. They put that American flag on that top segment when they deployed it.
Yeah, that's like a construction thing, right? Like they put a flag when they top it off.
Yep, topping it off. Yep. Wow.
I mean, even with the missing tiles, it looks so incredible.
It looks, something? It may look even more realistic with the missing tiles.
Yeah.
When I go, especially Atlantis, oh my gosh, if you ever get to Florida, you ever get to Cape Canaveral, You go to the Kennedy Space Center Visitors Complex and you go and see Shuttle Atlantis. It's got battle damage on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It literally has battle damage, like fighting the atmosphere, returning. Chris, how many times through the atmosphere?
Atlantis did 33.
33 times doing battle with the atmosphere. And you see the scars on Atlantis, like the
Yep.
flown space hardware. It has this look of reality to it. And
Mhm.
you can tell that this is something that not only went to space, but it came back with people on board.
That's sort of the thing, right? About
Yeah.
like sci-fi a lot of the time, all the
Yep.
vehicles are so nice and clean and pristine
Yep.
and perfect. And it's
Yeah.
like, no, real sci-fi, if we're going on the realism side versus like the fantasy side, hard sci-fi, I guess if that's the right word for it.
Yep.
Like the vehicle should look battered and beaten and worn. Like I always think of the Millennium Falcon when I think about something like this. It's like
Yep.
it should look beaten up and worn. And I guess Atlantis is a better example because it's actually a real thing. But yeah, I mean, this aesthetic, it it just looks cool. I don't care that there's not all the tiles on there. It looks like it just came back from orbit. Everything's fine. That's nominal like this, and they can just stack it again and go. Like,
Yep.
speaking of
With
stacking, I sort of wonder how long they're gonna keep it like this. Like, are they gonna keep it like this today for a minute, for 2 days, for a week? How
Yeah.
long does whatever they're testing take? I think there's a non-zero chance we see this thing unstacked today. Also,
Yep. That may very well be the case. I'm wondering, so I don't know, and I don't know if they're there yet. I don't know if they're ready for this, but a shot with the lifts down at the very least would be cool. So it's just the stack, the booster, and the starship on top, and the lifts, the little mechanical arms that are there tending to the mate point, right? If those were to come down, that would be a cool shot. I don't know if we're gonna get a shot without the crane. Because
Yeah.
right now, how would they get up there? None of the big lifts, the aerial work platforms that they have, I don't think any of them have the reach to get to the top. I think the highest one they have is around 300 feet. Could you put a
I also
basket on a crane? Even the Buckner crane isn't tall enough to reach the top of Starship.
I
So
also
how?
generally think they wouldn't unhook the crane without arms to hold and stabilize the stack.
Yeah.
Arms are kind of part of that as well. And the crane, I don't expect them to detach the. Cool as that would look,
Yep. Yep.
this is what we're dealing with for today, which is this is a fit check, right?
Yep. So maybe we'll get a shot with the aerial work platforms down, but I don't know if we're going to get a completely clean shot with the crane out today. It seems unlikely that the crane would be completely detached. But we will definitely see. Even when we start to spool down this stream, y'all, I think we're still just soaking it in, but the
We are.
views of this are going to be live on Starbase live all day long. We're not shutting them down. The cameras stay live over there. We'll certainly link you up whenever we are going to be spooling down here. But for now, I think we're all just sort of enjoying the view.
Yeah, absolutely.
I still like people saying I was here. Like
Yeah.
in chat, sometimes people are like, "Oh, it's just spamming stuff." Geez, you know something? We were here. Sing it. Like I am okay with it. This is cool.
Incredible.
I'd love to know what they're doing up there. Oh, going down.
There
We
they
might
go.
actually get to see it with the people lifters. Oh, on the other side too.
All the peeper lifters are going down. Okay.
Yeah. Wow. It's like 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, all right, we're all set.
All right.
Oh
So we
man.
have coordinated booster stacking now. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
What is that on the back of it there?
That
I think
is
those
a
are the
good question.
pressurization lines.
Oh. Oh, yeah. I think
The pressurization leads or whatever?
Yeah. Yeah. I just think they left some of the I just think they left some of
Interesting.
it there. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Above the grid fence on the right.
Yeah, on the
Mhm.
right above the
That's
griffins. Yeah.
the quick disconnect attachment
Yep.
point for fueling Starship.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
There you go.
And we saw with the booster, I guess with the Starship as well, they had a sort of ground pressurization equipment hooked up to that. Because when they do things like this, they do keep it lightly pressurized because having pressure in there helps with the rigidity, the structural stability.
And Starship should be as well, too. The ship should be as well.
Yep. Come a long way from, remember when we were arguing whether or not it was a Starship yet? When it was SN5 and it's just the aft tank, you got the methane tank and the LOX tank just of the Starship portion. That wasn't that long ago. Like late night cryo tests where we're sitting there trying to decide whether or not it's a Starship yet. I think now we can say it's a Starship.
It is a Starship.
It's a Starship Super Heavy, actually. The
Yeah,
whole thing.
it's the whole shebang.
Yep.
Which I think is now called Starship, is the whole thing. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say it is now called the shebang.
The shebang.
The shebang. Well, I mean,
Yeah. No, we're a long way from water.
I offer naming services, SpaceX, if you're interested. Like,
yep, we're a long way from water towers can fly. Somebody said in chat.
Yeah.
Oh, and absolutely, we save all the footage. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my gosh,
we have
yeah.
servers, and like cloud drives that just are chock full of terabytes of video footage. Every angle is going to get the full recording for this. Sometimes we take snippets and we're like, oh, that angle wasn't that great, or the turbulence was too bad here. But for this, we had such beautiful air this morning. We are going to be pulling every single bit of footage we can get our hands on.
I just want to point out real quick, Paul LaMadeline over here with a very generous $200. Pop the champagne. Wow. Congrats to SpaceX and all the folks with NASA Spaceflight. Thank you very much, Paul. That is extremely generous. It looks like they sent that through right as we had touchdown.
Yep.
So very cool there.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you.
I like this. Box maker in chat said, this is neither thinking inside or outside the box. This is creating a whole new box.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, that's
a good one.
Fair.
And lots of new members. Remember, y'all, if you want a community that's sort of always on and talking about space things and hardware, some of it's lighthearted discussion, some of it's super high tech discussions. If you become a member in the top 2 levels, you do get access to our Discord channel where there's lots of other people just like you that just love this stuff.
One of those Discords you can't actually keep up with. There's so many interesting posts. Like I can't spend much time there because there's so much interesting discussion going on sort of in the little members perk Discord. So every now and then I just have to right click the server and mark as red because there's no way I can keep up.
Takes a long time for those people lifters to get down, doesn't it?
Yep.
Are they? No, okay. They're still drifting down, looks like.
Yeah, I think so. It looks like they're racing. The one on the left-hand side is beating the one on the back.
Yeah.
But they do look like they're still going down. I don't know what there'd be to inspect in the middle.
Right, yeah. I was thinking maybe there was something to look at on the way down. Who knows?
Yep. I'm going to ask Jack, and Jack, maybe pass this over to Mary too. In the past, we've seen when you start adding load like this, some dents form in the main body. I wonder if up and down the main body from the angles that y'all see, if you can see anything like that that sort of popped in, you know? And we'll see if we get some text in the back channel or something like that. But nominal. I still imagine that a significant portion of the load is on the crane. At some point, they may put the full weight down there, but they do keep the crane attached. So if they see something start to happen, it's not just like, all right, cut the cable and put all the weight on the stack. They definitely put it very carefully, just the same way when they pick it up. The crane starts to take the load a little bit at a time. It doesn't just instantly yank it off the ground. And so
Is one of the GSC tanks
Yes, it
airborne?
is.
Yes. Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Josh, move
There's a
beach
GSE
cam,
tank.
please.
Yeah.
Got it.
The GSE tank that rolled out with the ship the other
Yep,
day
got it,
is
got it.
yeah.
Good grief, SpaceX.
Yeah, that's what I was saying the other day. Is what really blew my mind about this place is just everywhere you look, there's work going on. It's not all eyes on the one thing. It's like there's people busy doing all kinds of stuff all over Starbase.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I almost said it earlier this morning when I saw that the load spreader had been attached
Uh-huh.
to the tank. I almost said, "Oh, I wonder if they're going to move it as soon as they get Starship stacked."
Oh, I guess you would
Should
have been right.
have. Maybe I
Yeah,
should go get a lottery ticket tonight.
Yeah,
right.
right.
Now this one is a little shorter than the others. Any ideas why that is?
Oh, it is.
Good question. It
Yeah.
does look like it's actually shorter.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
before it was just because it wasn't on its stand or whatever, but you can tell
Yeah.
that this one is shorter.
It might
Yeah.
be a redesign, or it might be it might be that like I'm spitballing here. It might be that the larger ones we've seen are the oxygen tanks, and the
Yep.
smaller ones are going to be the methane tanks, just because
Yep.
it does hold more oxygen than methane. So that might be the difference.
Yeah, that could be.
That makes
If
sense.
I'm not mistaken, though, it's actually
Ah,
that the LOX tanks are shorter, but there's 3 of them. So I
okay.
Ah.
think
So
Oh,
this
reverse.
might
There
be
you
a
go.
LOX tank. But you can see some of them have taller stands than the others. Although, maybe the nitrogen tanks are also shorter, I'm not sure. But I think the methane side is on the right, and you can see right there that the methane tanks have smaller stands to the far left.
Yeah.
And this one does appear to be, yeah. And the only concrete stand that's
Yeah.
available right now is
Yeah,
to the
okay,
right.
so
So yeah.
the
Yep.
nitrogen and the methane are both the tall, and the liquid oxygen is the short.
Are the shorts? Okay.
okay.
So reverse of the actual tank sizes in the vehicles. Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah, what was the ratio? It's like 3 times as much oxygen to the or to the methane. Am I remembering that right?
70, yeah, 70% or 78% liquid oxygen, I think.
Okay. And just to answer this for people wondering, I'm seeing some questions for when is the launch. This is not leading up to a launch today. This is, as
Right.
far as we understand, this is a fit check and an awesome photo opportunity, of course.
Yeah.
We're not expecting a launch. Well, we're period.
There's
We're like right now.
yeah.
We're not. We don't have an estimate of when that might happen. There's still lots of paperwork to do and testing to do. There's probably going to be a whole testing regime of doing cryo tests, static fires, and stuff like that. So don't get ahead of us here. We're not really expecting a launch soon.
Exactly. Exactly. In fact, one of the biggest indicators that we're not expecting one soon is you see them still assembling the fuel farm.
Right.
And you see there are the two larger propellant tanks there still have holes in the side of them. From what it looks like their access doors are open. And they still need the cryo shells over them and everything like that. So the fuel farm has a ways to go to. And,
Yeah.
you know, you need fuel. if
Gotta
you
have
want to
some
light the
fuel.
engines.
Yeah.
In that regard, but yeah, just sort of pointing out the visual that's on screen right now is a good indication too of like there's still some ways to go. You
Yeah,
know,
absolutely.
just incredible,
Yeah.
just incredible.
All right. Now that we're stacked and we're just kind of watching, I am gonna try to run through some of these super chats. I'll try to gravitate towards maybe ones with questions. I don't know. We'll just see what we get. We got Mark S. Love the work you're doing so early too. If you could choose a place in the solar system to visit, which would it be? Oh, that's a good.
Saturn and
Yeah.
Enceladus. Didn't
Yep.
even have to think about that.
Yeah. Um, Oh, I saw this one earlier. Ruben Forster said, "Good morning. Accidentally made a super chat on the 24/7 stream instead of here. So let's try this again." Well, thank you
Oh well,
for
thank
both.
you.
I
That's,
mean, thank you. Yeah, that's awesome. A couple of new members.
ooh,
The
ooh, ooh,
drone.
ooh. Sorry,
Oh,
sorry,
sorry,
sorry.
sorry. Go
It's
ahead.
just it's really
Oh,
lifting now. Yes,
whoa,
sorry. Just
whoa.
wanted to point it out.
Yeah,
Yes, still keep reading off the super chats. Just wanted to draw our attention to it is really going skyward now.
yeah,
Wow.
sure. A couple of new members. The drone prince and Parishran John, I think is how you'd say that. Thank you very much for that ongoing support. Let's see here. Rough Riders show, sort of a regular around here. Did we figure out how they're going to detach FC after stacking? Oh, Frankencrane. Those buckets don't go all the way up. We're not sure if they're even going to do that, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see exactly what the plan is. Yeah, what the plan is here. Yeah.
Right. Scrolling down here. Peter over here, watching history, magic. Yes, that's right. Thank you for that support. Um, Max Wolfert says, "This stuff makes my day. We love you guys for streaming history. Well, we love you for joining on with us." Wesley Heron says, "What are your guesses on both stages successfully surviving in one piece?" Well, two pieces, they say.
Well, two
Down
pieces.
to the water.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. They
one piece
clarified
each.
themselves. Yeah, one piece, yes, but actually two pieces. Um.
Look
uh,
at look at this.
oh, what a shot!
I'm trying to
I,
figure out
I
where that tank is going.
Well, I do love what Chris Bergen said on Twitter here, saying that, and now one of the GSEs has shouted, "Take me with you," and is now
Take
in
me
the
with
air.
you.
But I like this last part. You got to feel bad for them, built like Starship sections, but will never fly to space.
Aw.
So it's trying.
Yeah, this
It's
might be
like
as close as it ever gets to
Yeah,
space.
exactly. The highest it'll ever fly.
it's like, look, Starhopper, I'm doing it. I'm
I'm
doing
doing it.
it.
I'm doing it. Neat.
Alfiato Zenguza says, "For history making team, thank you for your streaming. Thank you very much for that support." A lot of people just saying thanks for the stream and how historic it is. We appreciate all y'all. It can be with an "I was here." E. Peterson, I was hoping for this. Yep, we've been looking forward to this for a long time. Let's see. Dave Siniti said, started watching your channel when they rolled out Booster 3. Well, welcome. You
Nice.
guys do an awesome job, and I love the random tidbits of knowledge. Thank you, and keep it up. The future is now. That's right.
Yes, it is. Love it.
Let's see. Great job. You all are awesome. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Somebody, Dave R, was reminding everyone the like button. Yeah, I think they got it. Yeah, we got up to, wow, 35K likes. We appreciate that. That
We
helps us more than you might think. It tells YouTube that people are enjoying this and that other people might like it too. Oh wow, very generous. Brenton Miller with a $50 super chat. Thanks for broadcasting this. Thanks for that support. Lots of very generous people today. Like there's no way we can read all of these. We try. Adam Glatt. Oh, I just saw a $100 super chat. Thank you so much. I didn't see it when you first sent it through, but thank you so much for that.
Michael, check it from Highway real quick. The
Oh, I love these
silhouette
because
view.
oh, there you
Uh,
go.
It just looks like a T-shirt. Like, just
yeah,
all right,
It
go
just
is.
ahead.
say, there's your T-shirt.
Yeah, that silhouette with a little "I'm doing it" out to the side. That would be another good shirt.
Yes, I'm doing it. We.
And the crane flies across in front for us too. Thank you, crane. Just in time.
Jared Tucker saying, I was here, you were here. Soon we'll be in there, going to Mars. Thanks to SpaceX for the inspiration to turn our eyes to the stars, and NSF for allowing our eyes to witness both history and the future.
Indeed.
Yeah, that
Indeed.
kind of harkens back to what Jack was saying. You know, it's history and future. And Arthur James with a cool $50. We appreciate that. No comment there, just the support. We appreciate that.
And also, thank you so much to some of. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, Steven. Go ahead.
Oh
Sorry, I
no,
just
go
looked.
ahead.
No. I just looked over at the screen. Sorry, the thing I wanted to do isn't there.
Oh, it's not there. Oh, I just
Yeah.
I'm hitting
No.
the
No. No.
button to
No.
throw them all up.
Keep doing what you're doing. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Medrick Black with a cool $50 also. Thanks for some unbelievable shots. Keep it going. You know, y'all, the support really helps us to keep the lights on, keep the data flowing. Because with the 24/7 Starbase Live, it is not free. And all these super chats, they definitely help out. We appreciate it.
They
All
do
y'all's
indeed,
support.
and to Joe Beach as well for that $50 support. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Really
thank you.
appreciated. With no question either. Just support. Really appreciate it. Yeah.
They lifted that GSE tank up above the Mesquite out there. So
Oh, there you
They
go.
did. Look at that.
I'm really interested to see where this one ends up. I'm about to have to adjust some of the other cameras I thought I was good to leave.
Yeah, it's traveled more than I thought it would.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Chris Brown here saying, great coverage, guys. I'm reliving Apollo as I watch this. Apollo inspired me to work in aviation. I achieved my ambition to be an AV tech on the Concorde. Flew on it.
Oh,
Next, I
cool.
want to work in space.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
You
wow.
already got pretty close, but that is really cool.
Oh man, and Heidi, thank you so much for the 100 € super chat. Our major releases have been in sync with SpaceX milestones. Let's keep up the great work. Awesome. Thank you so much. That I really appreciated.
And I think there's another concrete stand on the far side of the tank that got the cryo shell, if I'm not mistaken, right? I don't think this is going to go past the cryo shell. I think this is going to go down on the like right here. You can see the
I
slot that it's going to go into.
Yeah, it
think
looks like
so. I think that's where it's going. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was my guess, but yeah. Yeah. Momentum More. I like that name. Thank you for the 100 Canadian in support. Very much appreciated. JRH Alabama Customs. Thank you so much for the $50 support, and Clint as well. Thank you so much for that $50 support. Floored. Thank you all. Thank you all. And
Yeah.
Michael Michael the robot. Oh, I love it.
Interesting
Michael the
Jack that's a
robot.
robot though.
I
Like
know, right? Michael the robot with with $100 super chat. Thanks for all the great work, guys. What has the guy on the lift attached to Starship? I'm uncertain exactly what they were attaching to it after it was sort of down, and mated with the Starship, or with the
GoPro.
booster. That is, sorry, with the booster that is. But yeah, definitely caught that too, but not entirely sure what it was that they added. A GoPro. I like
I
that,
hope it was a
Doss.
GoPro. Sorry.
No. I like it. I like it. And oh, Joe with $100 super chat as well. I don't remember the Saturn V, but I'll sure remember this. Thank you, and
yeah.
thank you. Yes,
That's cool.
amazing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
really cool.
Yeah, we sort of talked about that yesterday. Like, I didn't get to see that. I never got to see
Right.
Neil and Buzz walking on the moon live. Anyway, I've seen plenty of it now. But
Yep.
yeah, this is sort of our Apollo.
It really is. Hey,
Yeah, it is.
there's another one, Lane Cavan. I took 2 shots at it there. I hope one of them was right. Saying great job. Thank you so much there, Lane. And here is another $100 from Jeffrey Spalding. And Jeffrey Spalding says, thank you, NSF. I am old enough to have watched Gemini and Apollo. Your coverage has given me new memories to go with them.
That is
Jeffrey,
awesome.
Nice.
yeah, thank you
Oh,
for saying that.
and Marcus House. This was an hour ago, but Marcus House with a 50 Australian dollar. Thank you, Marcus. Yeah.
Oh wow,
Yeah. Thank you, Marcus.
Yeah.
Glad you were hanging out with us this morning.
Yep.
absolutely.
Look
Yeah.
at this. Wayne Furstenworth, 200, saying, I filmed the
Oh my
first
god.
lunar landing from my TV in
Oh,
1969.
that is
Oh
awesome.
my
No
gosh.
kidding.
What media would that have been on? That's not a VCR.
Yeah,
No, no, no. You
geez,
would have you had to have I think it's you would have filmed it. Like you would
like
have
a
literally
real,
have filmed it. Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
wow.
like one of those real cameras that I don't know.
Yeah.
What did we have back then?
I
Jeez.
don't know. Yeah,
Probably
reel to
Super 8
reel.
or Super 16.
Oh,
Okay.
Super 8s were around back then. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right. Yep. Yep.
10 years before I even existed. So
Oh, a Brewski saying with $50 super chat saying been watching since SN5's flight. Thank you for the amazing coverage and access to humanity's future.
nice.
It
Yeah,
is our
thank you.
pleasure. I mean,
Yeah,
thank you for
absolutely.
being around because it's our pleasure. I mean,
I like this one. Q Wolf saying, thank you for the excellent coverage. YouTube now knows to recommend me the daily recaps as soon as they come up. Nice.
nice,
You
nice. Then
trained
we have,
it.
yes, we have successfully worked with the algorithms. Patrick West, just $50, nothing else.
Wow.
Just that. Thank you so much.
I like this. Hey, the name Wilbo Baggins. Wilbo Baggins says the renders were good, but that view is out of this world. You guys are amazing. Thank you for sharing these incredible streams with us.
Our absolute pleasure.
Yeah.
I just want to take a moment. JP or J. Man, I hate how these things all get the JPIOL. Thank you so much for the new membership, Mark Stevenson, Elmar. Thank you so much for the new memberships as well. I don't want to forget everyone who's pledging those new or upgraded monthly supports. Matt as well, and Mark. Oh, Mark had a new membership and then an upgrade as well, right back to back. Thank you so much, WB WB Hookie. Uh, thank you so much. I'm going to start sort of weaving in some of the new channel members here as well. Melissa Co. And it's not online. I like that name. Martin as well. Thank you so much for the new memberships.
Yeah.
Anyone else got any questions you got? I'm just trying to like I'm just trying to make sure we thank as many people as possible here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Let's see. Smooth Juice said history and new future of space travel has started today. Question for Jack through shuttle or super heavy Starship. Keep up the great work at NSF, and a huge thank you to Mary. We love you. That's right. Let's see.
Y'all, we see so many messages and just inspirational people sharing memories and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I mean, it really is like I know some people are like, oh my gosh, they're gonna read some super chats again, but honestly, what we provide isn't just a show. We're not just the news here that you can put on the wall and just watch. It's part of the experience, right? And people sharing how the experience, like experiencing this event with us, that's so important. We're not just something that you just toss up and, oh, okay, we're an event. We're something that you can join in with. We're something that you can participate in. You know, we read your chats, we read your messages. We can't ever get to all of them, but really, really, it's something that you are a part of. You're not just watching, you're sharing this with us. So thank you so much for all the kind words and the memories and just opening up your things that you remember that have inspired you. It really, really, it means a lot to us. We're not just a show you watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably my favorite part of our hearing is the interacting with everybody, hearing
Yep.
their stories, and hearing learning things from people. Like there's a guy I met down here. Oh man, I'm a jerk and I forgot his. You meet so many people down here, which is
Yep.
awesome when people come up to you and say that they appreciate what we do.
Yep.
But I met a guy down here who was telling me that those wood planks that they set down underneath the cranes are called crane mats, and it's like, hey, I learned
Oh,
something. Awesome! Like that's
Yep.
super duper cool. And people sharing, hey, I watched the Apollo landing. This makes me feel like I'm a kid again, or stuff like that. Like, or I'm a kid and now I want to be in aerospace. And like,
Yep.
there's so many awe-inspiring statements that we get from our viewers. It's like, I'm just a guy with a camera. I point the camera at cool. Mary obviously is like insanely dedicated at doing what she does, and the entire NSF team really works their butts off, and it all pays off when and it's surreal when people make comments like that. It's really appreciated. Thank you everybody for opening up and sharing. I can't echo what you said enough, Das. I just had to
Yeah.
jump in and
It's just I've explained it this way before, and it's you've got the TV and you're watching something, and who here hasn't said something to their TV before, right? Like really, of course it's a load bearing wall. We knew that was load bearing before you took the drywall off. Come on. But what if you looked at the TV and what if you talked to the TV and the TV talked back to you, and that's sort of what we try to do here. We try to
Yeah.
read your messages. We try to answer your questions. It's just something that you don't get on the traditional news, even
And
shows that are produced. We're live. We're watching this live right now with you. Like we're reading the super chats right now. It's
and
just
And
cool.
I love when we see where like not just at work, not just at homes, but I love when we see the photographs of like where our streams are being broadcast in public places as well. Like when I've gotten photos from people who are walking into hotels and they hear us talking
oh,
because the hotel has our stream
Yep.
up and playing in the lobby. And like I know I'm blanking on exactly where it is, but I know there's a tattoo shop
Oh,
somewhere in the US, and I'm totally
here in
blanking on their
Charlotte.
name.
They're
Charlotte,
right
yes,
here in
there we go.
Charlotte. Yes.
Yes, that are huge fans, and they have it up, and I just love that because
Yep.
it's like you see the reach and you see the inspiration that space has for people, right?
Yep.
And just across the board. I love it. I'm so sorry I'm blanking on that name, but yeah, it's so
No.
I just love seeing all of that too because it reminds you of how unifying space can be.
Chris, I've got a little bit of a story with that. The Falcon
Yeah.
Heavy launch, right? I got the footage of the Falcon Heavy launch and went back to my hotel and I asked the front desk, they got the TV in the little break
Mhm.
area of the hotel, like in the front area where you eat breakfast or whatever. And I'm like, hey, can I use your TV? And I edited the footage of the Falcon Heavy launch on the big screen TV in the lobby of the Hampton Inn at Titusville.
what?
And we
Yeah.
started out, no, laptop
Yep.
connected to the HDMI, and we were showing the videos and stuff like that. And we started out with just the people we were hanging out, started in a little meetup. A couple other people came and met us there. And after 15, 20 minutes, everybody who was checking in was gathering around in the lobby. People coming down to get a soda or something like that. People with their bags still standing there. And we're literally editing the video on the TV in the hotel in just a group of people. Random people stopped and started talking with us about Falcon Heavy, about the launch. It's just, it's such a unifying thing. It draws your eye, it brings your interest in, and it's something that you don't have to be a rocket scientist. You don't have to be a math whiz. You can still be a part of this, you know?
Yeah.
It's just cool.
It's awesome. And Wolfram over here saying, I was here for Gemini, Apollo, and the moon landings and space shuttle. I was here with NSF for Cargo Dragon / Crew Dragon and the Starship's tests. And now I was here with NSF for SN20 being stacked on B4. Thanks, NSF. Well, thank you. Thank you for being here as long as you have been.
Yeah.
And if you're new, well, welcome to the family. I hope you keep on joining us for all these live streams.
You know how to get back. You know the buttons to click in the YouTubes to find the channel again. There are
Mm-hmm.
things you can do. Hey, you want to get this one from Lars Kemen right quick. Says, just want to say thank you for everything you all are doing. As you said earlier, this is an incredible reminder of what trust and teamwork can enable and something we all need more of.
Yeah.
Rocket emoji. I had to get the rocket emoji in there. Thank you, Lars, for the words there.
a
Oh,
little bit of it.
Wouldn't be a stream without some robot mode there. Jack, we
Oh,
lost you. We may need a recycle on your client there, Jack. That sounded like signal though.
We've got Britton over here saying, thanks from Alice and Luke, age 8. Hello, Alice and Luke. How y'all doing? I hope you're enjoying the stream.
We'll see you on Mars, or you'll see somebody on Mars, one way or the
Yeah,
other.
it could
you
be,
know?
yeah.
That's another thing that is really cool. Like when we see somebody post up a photo on Twitter and they've got the stream up, or like 4 different streams up or whatever on their TV or their computer monitors, and your dog is there watching, or the kids are gathered around, or you're just force feeding it to your friends who are like, really? What are we
Oh my
watching
gosh.
again?
Hey, I just have to say, Kevin McCauley, thank you so much for the $100 super chat there. Just absolutely amazing. And Reese Lucas with $50. Just thank you. So much appreciated there.
Yep.
And William Hart with another
Wow.
$100. I lived through Mercury, Gemini, Apollo, Shuttle, Falcon, and Dragon, and now Starship. It just keeps getting better. Thanks for the good coverage. Oh my gosh, William, the stories I would love to hear from you.
Yep.
All of them. Wow. Yeah.
It's like batting the cycle, you know?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here you go. Zoltan said, many thanks for your work. For me, whatever the official name is, it will remain BFR. Appreciate you, Zoltan. Hey, here's one from Dave D. Quick question I can handle. Is it possible for an advanced amateur photographer to come to Starbase and take some cool night shots? So, Dave, I'll tell you, they don't make you show a camera or any sort of camera license when you drive down Highway 4 to the beach.
No, they don't.
Anybody can go there. Amateur, regular amateur, you got a cell phone. It is a public road, and there are literally thousands of people that enjoy the beach every weekend. That's why the road closures and stuff like that are such a big deal. But it is possible to get out there, and right here. So Jack and Mary are over on the dunes with the ocean behind them, the Gulf of Mexico behind them. This is part of Boca Chica State Park. And you can drive out there, vehicle that you have, no paved roads on the beach, so you sort of run out of pavement, so please don't get stuck. But you can get there and park, and you can go over and take a shot like this with the sun going down behind it. I mean,
Yep.
Boca Chica State Park stretches miles up and down the beach there, and every single weekend there are literally 1,000+ people out there doing barbecues, grilling out, kids playing in the ocean, digging their own speed bumps, which was something that I had never seen, but they did. The families, no, the
Yeah.
families will have little tents set up and stuff, and then they actually take shovels and across the beach they dig their own speed bumps so that people slow down because all the kids are out there playing on the beach. I'm okay with it, honestly.
Right.
Oh,
So I don't know, Steve, if you saw that when you were out there, but they literally were digging speed bumps because the kids playing in the water and everything.
yeah. I mean, I don't know why you'd drive fast on that sand anyway, but yeah.
Yeah, I got some fishing trucks with a bunch of fishing poles anxious to get to the jetties, it seems.
Right.
So, the fish are not going anywhere. Slow down.
Well, now you
be
don't know
safe.
that. No
They,
one-
I mean, it's like they practically live in the water.
They do live in the water, it's true.
Yes.
The lifts are
Alright.
going back up.
Oh,
Ah, I wonder if they got their shots there, Either they needed to go get some equipment or they backed off the lift to get the shots and then they are sending the lifts back up. I don't know of any other reason. Is one go down to pick up Elon or something? I'm not sure why the lifts would go down if it wasn't a photo op or they needed other equipment. I don't know what equipment they could need because Starship needs to connect itself to the top of Super Heavy and also release itself from the top of Super Heavy, right?
yeah.
Now, I don't know, but I do kind of wonder if they might be about, this is speculation, if they might be about to take it down.
Oh, wow.
That quick, huh?
How would we know? Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you'd see the gap form again and stuff. But
Right. Yeah.
Because we are expecting it to go back for more work to the production site. but
Yeah.
weather is a constraint. So if the weather's good, maybe they take it down right now.
I mean, they still have the low winds of the early morning. We know they try to get a lot of work done with that. But it's not like we're gonna see them go up there with a Mark I Persuader and start banging on something to loosen it up. It's all the connection points should be internal to the Starship Super Heavy stack. So we will have to see what's gonna go on here.
CM Inabnit says, my grandfather remembers seeing newsreels about the V2, and now I'm talking to him about the rocket that's going to take humans to Mars. Yeah, that's pretty cool. They said, thank you for your work, so I could share this with them. Yeah, that's so cool. Having something like this that can be sort of a topic of discussion within the family and friends and stuff.
Indeed. Oh, Ghost Rider, thank you so much for the $50 super chat, and Scotty Die as well, with 50. Thank you, thank you so much. Oh, here's one from Shailene Lauren saying, I was born during the shuttle era, but my dad was a big space nerd and passed his love of space on to me. My earliest memory is the Sojourner rover. Oh, I love
Oh,
that.
wow.
The Sojourner rover, when Sojourner launched and landed on Mars. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm very much the same. Like, I was born during the shuttle era. My dad was a huge space person. He always made sure that we saw, every shuttle launch,
Yep.
and everything, no matter the time of day, because it was important and it was history. And those are truly, my dad isn't here anymore, and those are truly the memories that I cherish. My first memory is actually slightly before Sojourner, and it is the very first launch of Endeavour. Is the first memory, a space memory that I have that I can like pin to an earliest date. Is the maiden flight of Endeavour, or the first flight of Endeavour.
And I'm just over here jealous. I never got to see a shuttle fly
Me
in
neither.
person anyway.
Well, later this year, when SLS goes, just imagine one mounted to the side of it.
Yeah.
Just imagine. Nice.
That's what I say every time it comes up in conversation. I'm like, I'm super excited to see SLS because it's the closest I'll ever get to being able to see a shuttle flight.
Yeah. That's one, not a lot of regrets or anything like that, but I lived in Atlanta while shuttle was still flying for years and years.
Uh-huh.
And I was sort of interested. I wasn't completely into space. I was doing .com stuff out there and tech work and stuff. And I don't know how many times. Oh, the shuttle's going to launch. Oh, I could drive down this weekend. I always had the opportunity to drive down. It's hours from Atlanta down that way, but I could have done it and I never did it. I'll go next month. Oh, it'll keep launching. I'll see it next time. And I never went.
Hmm.
I should have
Yeah.
gone, you know?
Yeah. I was I was trying to make it happen for the last shuttle flight and it just couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't make it work.
I had started another job when the final three rolled
Uh-huh.
around.
Yeah.
And I know I deeply annoyed them with the ever changing schedules because
Mm-hmm.
and everything like that. But oh my gosh, I was not gonna miss them. Like,
Yeah.
and I totally annoyed my bosses on that one, but, managed to keep the job. So,
Managed to keep the job. Nice.
to be fair, that was before that was like when I had another job aside from NSF. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Not that Crispy was like, "What, you wanna go to the shuttle launches?" No. Like, yeah. So incredible. I mean, I'm scrolling through the super chats because most of them are not questions. Most of them are just, as we've been saying, like, comments and people sharing memories and history. It's incredible. Wigan Creative here with $100 super chat, saying thanks from our entire staff. Thank you so much for all that you do this day for this day is for the history books, and we're all just floored. You are wonderful people. Thank you, Wigan.
Yeah, appreciate you there,
Uh,
Wigan Creative. That's
yeah,
awesome.
thank you so much. That's incredible.
And then Joe Rosario saying thanks for sharing this historic event with your audience. I can't wait for the launch. Yes, me too. But I am not holding my breath because I know we got a lot of testing to go through before that happens, which obviously we'll bring you live coverage of. So make sure you're around.
And again, y'all, we are continuing to watch. I think we're just sort of soaking it in or sharing memories and stuff like that with people. It's,
Yeah.
it's just something like an experience here. But the lifts have gone back up, and it is possible. It is possible that we could actually see them unstack this. That is a possibility here today. We know that there is still a lot of work to be done, and SpaceX is not the type to sit around and rest on their laurels. All right, it's stacked. It's not going to do them any good stacked right now. They just wanted to make sure that it was going to fit, but there's still work to be done. And it's quite possible that instead of sitting around, even for a day or an afternoon, you got the weather, the wind is cooperating, the crane is already hooked up, the crews are there. We may very well see Starship Michael, Starship prototype S20. Did I get it right?
Meh.
Did I
Ship
say it right?
20 or S20, both are correct.
Okay. Starship
Okay.
prototype Ship 20 or Starship prototype S20?
Yeah, I just have never heard them say or use Starship 20, which doesn't
Gotcha.
make sense to me, but I haven't seen them use it. So, Ship 20 or S20.
All right. Well, we may very well, so whatever you want to call it will not change the fact that it is possible that they may unstack it here. The taglines are still attached, they're still out to the side. Workers back up at the top. We will see. Oh, the camera operator. Look, that's maybe a
Oh,
good
yep.
sign. The camera operator is pointing that camera right at the gap, or not yet, but where the seam, I guess, would be the right terminology. Oh, we may get a twofer here, I guess.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, we can definitely file that under, well, that wasn't exactly expected, but
Yeah.
Well, I'm just glad that we now have footage of the fully stacked Starship
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and lots of great photos. Make sure y'all
yeah.
are following Mary and Jack on Twitter because I'm sure. I have not been checking. They may have already posted some photo. I know Mary has posted some photos.
Yeah.
Just keep your eyes peeled there.
Enjoy the view while you have it because it looks like it's about to go back down.
It does.
Yeah, wow.
Well, I'm game. Y'all here?
Yeah, yeah, we're here, aren't
Yeah,
we?
I
well,
mean,
I'm here. I'm here for an hour.
yeah.
Yes.
All right. Cool. So, yeah, let's continue to watch.
Yeah, and I'm getting let me see right here. Scrolling. I've seen some new ones come in. Hang on. I'm trying to scroll to get them. Um we have from Jim. We have a $50 super chat from Jim Hershey saying, "I have watched NSF coverage from Starship's development since the beginning, and I cannot thank you enough for providing us with the opportunity to witness this with you and everyone here. It is truly inspiring, and the work you do is invaluable." Thank you so much, Jim. Very, very much appreciated. Very much appreciated. Justin with a $50 super chat asking if we have ever discussed giving the raw footage to like archive.org or the Smithsonian.
Jeez. Our DMs are open, Smithsonian.
Smithsonian, if you
We
want
say
it.
that
Yeah,
to the
our
Smithsonian.
messages are open. Yeah.
That's not, I guess, welcome to 2021. Just
Yeah.
have the Smithsonian slide into the DMs over here. Like,
Oh, man. But good point.
that's how
I
it
mean,
works.
for historical purposes, right? Anyway, Smithsonian, if you're listening.
I like this one. Dave D says, I'm 60 and recall watching Apollo 11 land on the moon and the astronauts stepping off the ladder onto the moon. Dad was slack jawed, mom was in tears. Wow.
I think we're going to get back there. We've seen a lot of talk and designs and renders from all over the place and the moon. And, I think that this is a sign that we will be back there.
Well, yeah, I mean, like we've gotten so wrapped up, I think, in the enormity of the day that I think a lot of us have, and I know Michael, I saw a tweet from you earlier on this, have kind of it's kind of not in our head that this is the moon ship.
Yeah.
This is our return to the moon, right here. For everything else that it is, it's our return to the moon in a few years. I mean, so seeing it fully stacked and going through fit checks like this is a huge milestone for the Artemis program as well. I mean, let's
Yep.
just really make sure that's out there because people always ask us, oh, SLS versus Starship. And it's not SLS versus Starship, it's SLS working with Starship
Right.
right now to get that capability back as quickly as possible. And that's part of what we're seeing here as well. I mean, it's just incredible. And Steven, I just got to throw this out. Steven Bradshaw, $68 Canadian super chat saying, when I was 10 years old, I watched the LEM undock from the crew module of Apollo 11 with my family on a little 12-inch black and white TV set. Spaceflight has never ceased to be a wonderful experience. Exactly.
Yeah.
And now you're watching it on a much bigger screen, probably mounted to a wall, connected to something that didn't exist back then.
Yeah, right?
Or you're watching it on your phone, which has
Your
more computing
phone.
power than the LEM did that you
Yeah,
watched
exactly.
it on. Yeah. Which I just absolutely love for all of it.
And Don Brown saying, as a child in the 60s and seeing the Apollos and the excitement around it, this has brought that feeling back. Now in my 60s, it's amazing the excitement that
Oh,
this brings
wow.
back. Yeah. I'm so glad that, people of all ages are excited about this.
It is. It is. I mean, and I remember in one of our streams one of our launch streams, for a SpaceX flight back in July, I think it was, where we had, or maybe it was one of our Starship streams, but we had there was like a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old that was watching along and asking questions through their dad
Yeah.
to us and getting their questions answered, and that was just so cool, like because I think that was a stream where, like, we mentioned it and then someone said they were in their 90s watching.
Wow.
So, like, we
Wow.
had an incredible spread
Yeah.
there, of ages of people who just found this fascinating, but I'll never forget that day, like, because that was so, so cool being able to answer, that kid's questions live on air for them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
here, scrolling back down just to make sure. Incredible.
Oh, Stuart Young. It was my 7th birthday when the first Saturn V was fully integrated. I had lost hope of seeing humanity going beyond low Earth orbit before SpaceX.
There it
Thanks.
goes. What's up? What's up?
It's
There
There
it
it is.
goes. It is
Look at that.
destacked. Look at that. Uh,
So once again,
Okay, so how
SpaceX
long was it stacked?
surprises.
How long was it stacked?
It
an
was
hour or so.
it was 7:56, I believe. 7:56 a.m. CDT was touchdown, so just over an hour.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there you go.
absolutely incredible. There is another one here too. Another message here just says Starship is going up. See, it goes up much faster than it comes
It
down.
does. It does.
Um, Chuck Rogers saying, I was born the month before Sputnik. I remember watching Mercury. In my life, we will go from that to Mars. Amazing.
Yeah,
Yes.
that is.
Uh,
Yeah.
that is amazing. And I mean, I think there are so many people who are in the same boat that I was in as we watch Starship being destacked now about an hour after it was fully stacked. If you had asked me a decade ago in 2011, will there be humans on Mars in your lifetime? And I was in my early 20s at that point. Um, my answer would have been, I hope. In my early 20s, my answer would have been, I hope, in
Yeah.
2011. And now it's not yes, it's oh yes, and hopefully by the end of the decade. You know,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know, if they're behind their own schedule. Um,
Yeah.
you know, and I just think that's incredible. Like
Yeah.
that it's not an if, it's a when in
Yeah.
our
It seems
lifetime.
so
And
much
that's
more
an
certain.
incredible shift. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, don't get me wrong, there's still a lot to do. I mean, do
Oh
not
yeah.
get me wrong. This is not tomorrow. I mean, there's still a lot to do for that to come to fruition. But the fact that it's not an amorphous, abstract presentation that's 40 years away is incredible.
Yep.
Mhm.
There it
Somebody in
goes.
the
They're
chat.
not wasting any time here, y'all. Remember
There it goes.
the winds out there pick up. They like the early morning launches because the winds are calmer, and as you get more literally solar energy down there making pressure differentials on the
Mhm.
surface of the Earth, you start to get these higher and higher winds. And so the more you sort of delay, the more you're going to get to winds that could cause a problem. Remember, this looks small. But this is way up in the air. This is a massive starship, and it is hundreds of feet high. It is
Yeah,
way up
the
there.
I think we calculated like the launch table where it mounts is about 30 meters off the ground. And then the booster itself is another 68 meters. And
Yep.
that's what Starship is stacked on. So Starship is stacked like 98 meters above the ground right now. Yeah.
Yep.
Like almost 300 feet.
Yeah.
And that crane that holds it up there. I mean, when Elon said, what was it? The booster. Was he talking about the booster or the Starship? That was
Was what?
200 tons.
The booster is 160 tons.
160. Yeah. It's
Yes.
somewhere between 100. He never really got pinned down on it.
Yeah, it
But
was
he
like
said somewhere
between
between
160 and
160 and
200.
200.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's a lot. And the Starship is over 100 tons as well, if I had to guess, right? Um,
Indeed.
so just getting that back. Look at the clouds in the background on Mary's shot.
Mhm.
Y'all know what the time lapse of this is gonna look like
Oh, it's
with the
gonna be
puffy
amazing.
clouds
Oh,
and
it's going
Yeah.
to be amazing. Yeah.
uh
Yeah, and
It's going to
especially
be
with it like with it only being stacked for an hour, that you probably just have it just play on through. I don't know how much you speed those up typically, but
Oh yeah,
yep.
the stacking time lapse can be a stacking and destacking time
yeah,
lapse.
yeah, exactly. And
And
actually, somebody in the chat said it's not destacking; it's stage separation.
yeah,
Stage separation, nice.
yeah,
Yeah,
given what Elon said in that Tim video, that stage separation is basically like picture the Starlink flip maneuver, and you've got it for how these stages are going to separate. You're not far wrong
yeah,
by how they just did it, right? Just pop and then you pop, twist, and off you go. But look at that. An hour after stacking, here it comes back down to the ground. And Zed, thanks so much for the $50 Australian Super chat saying, thank you so much to the entire NASA spaceflight team and especially Mary and all her stakeouts for continually providing the community with epic coverage, content, and even space banter. Greetings from Melbourne, Australia. Well, greetings indeed from multiple places around the United States. I think all of us are spread out across all three of the continental time zones,
Yep.
or three of the continental time zones here. But thank you so much, Zed and Paul Boyenga with a $200 super chat,
Wow.
saying, from an 85 YOG, thanks for the memories and hope for the future.
Yeah.
Can I
Thank you
can I
so
just
much.
say, if I'm not a robot, there was a time people would do like a $50 be like, we're gonna break Jack, because I would just the amount of support. I still am. I just often feel and unable to express that speech. But yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know if there's ever a day that's broken your guys' support, it's today. I mean, the number of insanely huge super chats coming through,
Yep.
y'all are wait to see what we have in store. I'm so excited. Future, this isn't the end. This is the beginning. Thank
Remember,
you so
y'all,
much.
Jack
much.
is out there in the field actually operating the left-hand camera there. Signal's a little bit tough, but you could get his sentiment. Thank y'all so much, because the support that you bring is what makes this possible. Like, Jack, thank you so much for that. We did copy the vast majority of what you just said there. So that is, he says, I am broken. He just sent me a text saying, I am broken is the gist. There you go. Again, folks, what's going on? I don't know if we need to update the upper left-hand corner, Michael, because it says Starship stacking, but now it's Starship destacking. They have disconnected S20 from the top of Booster 4. They're going to put it back down on the transport stand, I would imagine, which is hanging out down there still. They stacked it up to the top. We saw for the first time ever in history a full Starship and Super Heavy stack, the spaceship and the ride to space, the booster for it, completely together. It's the first time that's ever been happened, and it didn't just happen out in a field somewhere. It happened on the actual orbital launch mount that is supposed to give this ship its first takeoff to orbit. So we were watching that happening here, and now with the potentially winds rising, we know that it gets more windy out there. We also know there's a lot of work to do as well. We see them destacking Ship 20 from the top of the booster. They're going to put it back down on the ground. Hey, I don't think there's a road closure for today, but I don't think they're going to spend a lot of time with this stuff just hanging out at the launch site. If they have work to be done, I'm going to be watching the suborbital pads. We know that Booster 3 is already on suborbital pad A, and suborbital pad B actually has the thrust simulators, the thrust rams installed on it. So something's got to give there. You either got to take Booster 3 off of pad A, or you got to take the thrust rams off of pad B, or you got to take the engines out of the Starship in order to take the Starship over to the pad for maybe a cryo test. Take the booster over to pad A for maybe a cryo test. Maybe you want to do a static fire. You got to take the rams out and put the Starship there so you don't have the rams in the way. Whatever the process is and whatever SpaceX is going for, they're not done. You don't just stack it and declare victory and go home, right? There's still a lot of work to be done so that we can see these things fly to orbit. So those are going to be the things to be looking out in the coming days. I almost said the coming weeks, and then I corrected myself because SpaceX to the coming days, and maybe the right thing is really the coming hours.
Yeah, maybe.
Just keep an eye out on those suborbital pads, because more testing needs to be done. And we're either going to see some changes happening at the suborbital pads to make way for the Starship or the booster. If you don't see that happening, it may very well be that they end up back over there in the shade at the high bay, where workers will continue to do some work. Not sure exactly what the plan is, but I can tell you what to be looking for. I can definitely tell you what to be on the lookout for. So we shall see.
I like this comment from Georgie Clark, turn off rewind.
There you go.
Folks, you are not seeing, I don't think DOS or Michael hit the wrong button or anything. You are not
Usually
just seeing
not.
a rewind of what
Yeah.
happened earlier.
What
Could just,
a mean trick that would be, right?
all right. We could have just we can just time lapse the footage and we'll get one of those boomerang shots. You
Yeah.
know, like on social media, it like plays forward, then it plays backwards, then it plays forward, then it plays backwards. And we could just play this forwards, and it'll do the back and forth again. So
Yeah.
the cryo tank in the middle won't actually boomerang. That'll be the tip off.
Oh yeah, that'll be the indicator.
I am once again watching my camera angles because it will be time for me to wrangle new angles shortly here.
Wrangle new angles. I
Wrangle
love it.
new angles. Came up with that myself. Anybody else's face hurt?
Uh-huh,
Yeah,
from
right.
smiling so
Yeah.
much. Like, yeah.
Not even on camera, but I got a grin almost as big as
Ah,
Starship. So
yeah.
gotta work out those cheek muscles.
David England with a generous $20 saying, "Hey guys, can we get a side-by-side composite of the fully stacked Starship with a Saturn V?" I would dare say that that's out there somewhere already.
Yeah, I saw one of those floating around Twitter yesterday. I think there was also a blank space to the right of it with a label, but
Yeah,
I think that exists. We don't have that ready to queue up here and show on screen, but to
I'd
the
say
interwebs.
there'd be multiple versions of that, I would say. I think that's one of the first things people think of once they see the fully stacked Starship.
I like this. Andrew says, you know how they used to display the big fish that fishermen's caught? You know, you get off the boat and you're back at the dock and you're holding up the fish.
Yeah.
This
Like,
looks like
look.
that. Yeah, the starship that didn't get away. I hope they don't take it back and try to gut it and clean it and fillet it, though.
Yeah. Well, is this more like a catch and release kind of
Yeah, catch
situation
and
here?
release. There you
Yeah.
go. We're gonna raise it in captivity and then we're gonna release it into the wild orbit, I guess.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna reiterate, folks. Earlier we saw Starship stacked all the way up on top. I know people come and go. I see the numbers going back up again, but earlier we saw them stack Starship all the way on top, and now they are taking it back down again. Still work to be done. You don't just put it up there. As we were saying before, not ready for launch. This was not like stacking it up and oh, go go go. It's time to launch. There's still a lot of work to be done. You're gonna see a lot of testing. You're gonna see a lot of changes. This was to make sure that if you took a Starship and you put it on top of a booster that you put on top of the platform that you just installed on top of the orbital launch mount, that it all fits together. Because now is the time to be correcting things if you have issues there, right? You don't
Absolutely.
want
Yeah.
to, oh, well, let's do static fires and cryo test and all this other stuff. Oh, no, it doesn't fit. Now we're sort of backlogged. This was to make sure that the work that they've completed there on the orbital launch mount is good to go. Do they need to fix anything or change anything? And then they're going to release that booster and Starship back over for more work before we're ready for orbit. So we've been saying for a while, this did not mean that we were launching now. It doesn't mean we're launching next week. We still have a lot of time before we're actually going to see this stack fly. But this was a step in the right direction, wouldn't it, y'all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for everyone that was asking about like tiles and stuff, and are they gonna put the rest of the tiles on while it's stacked? Well, I guess we sort of have that answer now, don't we? And also I saw a lot of questions earlier about when the launch was. Well, this was just a stacking operation, just sort of fit checks, photo op, and I'm sure they got great photos. I know Mary and Jack have some great photos coming.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, some of their photos have already been amazing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just out on Twitter already.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at one from Jack right now. That's a great shot.
Right. Yeah, and I know a lot of people is asking about the launch date, but there's still so much work to be done, still so much to build at the orbital launch site, still so much testing that needs to happen. Really don't have a launch date for you
Yeah,
right now. It's a great
yeah,
question.
yeah.
I know so many are asking, but we really just don't know. There's still so much to do.
Elon would tell you 2 weeks, as he is wont to do. We'll tell you probably not less than 30 days. And I don't think that the answer is going to be between those two. I think the answer is going to be more than 30 days from now. But that's my guess. I shook the crystal ball and it just said, really? It's SpaceX. We'll see.
It said check back in 30 minutes, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh, that's good. I love it.
Look at this, all the tiles.
Oh. Now, see, later on today when Ian comes online,
Oh,
we'll see
yeah.
if he did his homework, part 1 of his homework.
And there's that part earlier we were talking about how you can see where they expect that plasma flow to go, like behind the wing, and so
Mhm.
it kind of wraps a little further around the backside of the ship.
You got it.
Oh, I just have to read this one out. Mike Alpha Mike, with a super chat saying, I've been notifying my wife, who's a teacher, of each launch. You guys are changing the course of young children's lives, not to mention my own 2 little ones. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Really appreciate. Thank you. Thank you. I love stories like that. We've gone back into like silently watching everything
I
it's
know.
doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it's
I like
moving
this.
again.
I like this shot because Jack's just sort of left it there, and the entire booster, the entire starship has just gone down through the frame, and we're making it up to the actual forward flaps now. I paused for a second to try and see if I couldn't find some sort of catching or lifting mechanism, like a hard point,
Uh-huh.
underneath the forward flaps that the arms may
Yeah.
attach to. I don't know if that's what we're seeing right there underneath where the forward flap attaches. I'm not sure that's big enough to
Yeah,
be
is that
that sort of
something
point.
protruding out of there? I see that it's obviously it's missing some tiles right there. Is there something actually sticking out right there? I can't
Yeah,
really tell.
that's
I
what
can't
was
say for
drawing
sure.
my eye. It looks like
Yeah.
some sort of structure. It may be a thruster, actually.
Oh, yeah, could be.
I don't know. It looks like something sticking off a little bit, and that may be
On
where that forward
like
thruster is.
right under the flap?
Right under the ear, yeah.
Hmm.
The ear, I like that.
Here.
The yeah, because the, like, places where the arms would pick it up is further down, right?
That's what I was looking for, but I didn't see it sticking
Or
off the
is that
side.
where is that where the arms are planning to catch it now?
I don't know. I don't know if it doesn't look like the same structure as
It
on the
doesn't,
booster.
no.
Yeah, So I imagine it may be further down. Maybe it's not installed yet. Maybe there's just an open spot in the TPS where something like that's going to go. That was just sort of
Yeah.
drawing my eye. But the more I
Oh!
look at it, go ahead.
Sorry,
Yeah.
duh. That would A, solve the problem of thermal protection system closeouts that we've been talking about how do you stack it and then close out the thermal protection system for
Oh, yeah.
flight
Uh
if
huh.
there are little side attach points that survive atmospheric reentry. Well,
Yep.
that's how you do it. Sorry, that just totally
Yep.
clicked of all those questions we got yesterday. But also to go back to those questions from yesterday of how they do thermal protection system work, the catch arm towers, the catch arms could go up and down
They
along
could
the
be
side of the vehicle
platforms.
and be
That's
Yeah.
work
right.
platforms as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, to
Ah,
do
that's a good
TPS work
idea.
on the pad. Yeah.
I like it. And so what we're talking about here, y'all,
And
right
somewhere
now,
people in SpaceX are either going, "Yep," or
yep,
"Nope."
or or maybe maybe we should do that.
Or
Um,
that, yes.
what we were talking about is you see here at the top where the green slings are attached
Mhm.
to the nose cone of Starship, and there's 6 attach points up there that actually stick through the tiles. You can see the missing tiles, and so we were thinking before, what are they going to do to thermally protect those attach points? And it may be that those attach points don't exist. Maybe those are only for when the crane is doing it, and when the actual tower, the chopstick arms that Elon called it, when those are actually picking the Starship up, maybe these TPS will just be clean and smooth up at the top, and those attach points will be lower down on the side, just like we see on the booster. So that is a potential thing. We may see that may be the solution that we haven't seen in action yet, just waiting for those tower arms to go up. That's going to be a stream.
Yeah. Oh
Oh
man.
gosh.
And
Yeah.
there is news to report. Ship 20 is expected to roll back to the production site during a road closure, which was just posted from 11:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central Time today. So as soon as they
Today.
lower this down, they are immediately going to secure it to the transport stand and take it back to the production site.
All right.
All
Well,
right.
Well, there you go.
so it took a field trip, basically.
It
Yeah.
did. Well, there you go. I guess that now what time was that road closure, Michael, starting?
8 minutes from now, I believe. At
There it
9:30.
is.
Oh no,
Wait,
11:30
yeah,
starting.
Yeah,
11:30,
11:30
11:30
starting.
to
11:30.
2.
Okay.
So that's a couple hours. We will probably end up watching parts of that on Starbase Live. At least the interim time will determine if we're going to do another commentary stream, or maybe that'll just be on Starbase Live. We'll talk about that, but yeah, Starbase Live will definitely be live. It's right there in the name. That's why I named it Starbase Live because it's not Starbase VOD. Starbase pre-recorded. No.
I don't understand, So could you
Yeah.
explain that a
Jeez.
little more?
I like to
Why?
name things like very human readable fashion. So I've got like River Cam and Beach Cam and Danger
Yeah.
Cam. Like it makes sense.
Doesn't Danger Cam currently have the added "on vacation" in parentheses?
It's Danger Cam on vacation.
On vacation, yes.
Yeah. Oh no. Mary's reporting in that there is some music being played, but we don't
Yes.
have the license to play that music for you. But
No,
apparently,
we do not.
starships were meant to fly, and I'll leave it at that.
There was also a report, not just on that one, but there was also a report from earlier on that "Take Me to the Moon"
Yeah.
played
Fly me
when
to the
Fly
it
me to
when
the
it
moon.
was made. It
Fly me
"Fly Me to the
to the
Moon."
moon. Yeah, that
Yes.
one.
Yes, it
I don't
was
know if that's the
played.
version they did.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the version they did either, but there was definitely one that was played there. Yes.
Wow, it seems like we were just at the same point like 2 hours ago.
Yep.
Alex Williamson saying, I've watched SpaceX since they started trying to land Falcon 9 while in high school and throughout all of Starship, and it's been amazing to see their rise to this point. Thanks for being here to show us. It is our pleasure. Because even if you weren't here, we would be here. So it's nice to
Yeah.
have some friends along the way.
Definitely true. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if folks didn't show up and support us and all that sort of stuff. It would be hard for us to do this sort of stuff. So
That's
you sort
true.
of
Yeah.
jokingly said we'd be here, but we really wouldn't be
We
here.
might
We
not.
wouldn't have
Yeah.
the opportunity to cover this for y'all if y'all didn't show up. It's really true.
And Joe Fisher saying, after I watched this, I chose to look at photos willed to me by my namesake grandfather of Discovery and Challenger, part of a collection by NASA. I would never have thought to be here at 18. Yeah, it is. It's going at a breakneck pace, and it's pretty awesome that this is sort of what we've come to expect. Here we go. We're getting pretty close to the ground. I mean, it looks close. I guess it's probably 10 or 20 meters off the ground. So, well, I guess, okay, so the orbital launch platform is about 30 meters, so we're probably looking at about 10 or 15 meters right here.
Again, I will reiterate, you can see in the upper left-hand corner, it says Starship destacking. We've already seen Starship all the way up on the top of Booster 4, and they are bringing it back down again. Like Michael just said, a road closure has popped up. Official word from the county that there is a road closure from 11:30, so about 2 hours from now, Central Standard or Central Daylight Time. We're still in, and it looks like Starship is going to be moseying on back to the barn to get some more work done. That 1.7-mile drive back up Highway 4, because they're not done. Like I said, you don't just leave it up there and declare victory and fly a flag. And no, we're not on the moon yet. We're not in orbit yet. We're not on Mars yet. It's not time to rest. So a huge accomplishment. Definitely a step forward that is needed, but it's not the end of the game.
Yeah, that's right.
It slowly rolls back around.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Needs ground orientation now.
And one thing people were pointing out is how the up towards the top, just below the nose cone, the new tiles that were installed last night, they look a lot more uniform than the rest of the tiles. You know, they seem to all be the same shade of black. I wonder if that's just because they all came in on the same batch and were thrown up real quick.
It might be, yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, do. Here we go. Touchdown number 2 of the day underway.
We're gonna do our like thing again. I can't like it again.
No, but yeah, because people, I mean, what are they going to
People would
unlike it after
unlike
they
it. Yeah,
unstack
don't
it?
do
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
don't do that. Don't do
Don't
that.
do that. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
Steve, don't say that.
Okay. All right. Backing off. Rewind. Yeah, let's do that rewind thing, and then we'll
Yeah,
do it
right.
again. Yeah.
So again, the workers guiding the hard points. You can see the spot with no tiles there, and then you see the little clampy bits sort of sticking up from the transport stand. That transport stand is a special, it's almost like an adapter that goes between the modular transporters, those self-propelled modular transporters. If you ever hear us roll off SPMT, self-propelled modular transporters, the SPMT, and they're going to put the Starship on the adapter so that they can walk it back home, it looks like. I don't
Literally
really know
walk
what.
it back.
Yeah, they literally walk it. You're
Yeah, it's
exactly right. I guess maybe not walking back to its home, walking back to its birthplace? I don't know, something like that. I think
going
it's
it's going
home,
back to it's going back to the nursery, yeah.
the nursery, right, the nest. There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah, the nest, yeah, the Starship nest. The aviary, since they fly. There we go.
There you go, the aviary.
Things continuing to go down there.
So they'll pause for a little bit. We'll see it rotate some, and they'll get it aligned. That's a normal thing. Just attach like an auxiliary ratchet or come along or something like there. Give them a little bit more control over it than the long tag lines. Remember that one really long line, or I guess lead or tag? I don't know. I don't know if the two things are interchangeable, but that was attached when it was all the way up at the top, and somebody's back there frantically reeling it. Right, it's 300 plus feet of rope, or cord, or line, or whatever the right terminology there is.
And you can see here that after an eventful day, Starship is preparing to return to its place of comfort on its ground stand as we continue to watch its booster out in the wild there on the. Sorry, I don't know why I
Nice,
slipped into
nice.
nature documentary there, but you know, like,
So at least it wasn't golf mode, where you're like whispering
or
into the
that,
mic.
yes.
Yeah.
Can we all golf? We all just finger golf clap.
All I heard was golf clap.
Yeah, golf clap there, but
I mean, when this goes down, it would sort of be like a hole in one, just a very slow hole.
if you're not careful, we're going to start to get into Happy Gilmore references here.
Yeah.
And then we'll just have to turn off the stream. So
Yeah.
it looks like it's almost aligned there. If that clamp
Yeah.
that we see front and center is also going to go into that untiled portion there, I guess. You can actually see the little indention there. It's like a hard point. It actually looks a little thicker. If you look at it, it looks like it's designed to carry some load. Yes, thank you, chat. I appreciate all
Oh, what did I miss?
the Happy Gilmore references.
Oh,
strap
yes.
it in.
Okay.
Ship 20 is getting really good at landing with precision. Nice.
Practice makes perfect.
You know what's crazy is, this is their first time doing a full stack and destack, and it's actually pretty fast. I'm not sure I would imagine it being all that much faster when they actually are operational, because it's still going to have to be sort of a slow process, making sure that everything's lined up perfectly. But, an hour from going from lift to actually mating, that's not that bad.
Almost down, it looks like.
Yep. Pretty much lined up there.
Yeah.
You can see those two massive orange counterweights in the foreground, the orange and yellow.
Mm-hmm.
Those are literally just huge blocks of steel. They can use them for crane counterweights as well. You actually see some on the back of the 5275 there. Those gray blocks on the back of the yellow crane on the left, those are crane counterweights. You can add or remove weight depending on how much load you want the crane to be able to handle. And the same thing here, these counterweights, they actually put it on the transporter, that SPMT, and that brings the center of mass of the entire contraption down lower. So that's something we see whenever they're going to move this thing. The pressurization equipment is on the far side here, because we've got the tiled side this way. And so we also see them hook up lines and hoses to it to maintain the pressure while they're moving it. They'll have like a gen set and stuff like that on the back. sort of hyper focused on this. It looks like waiting for it to touch down.
I saw a couple people asking why they destacked, and some people asking what happened. They just got here, so
Yeah.
uh,
As
a- a-
expected.
yeah, as expected. Yeah, to risk sounding repetitive, but for those that have been here all morning, but just to make sure everybody is kind of on the same page, they did stack Starship on top of Super Heavy, and our understanding is it was just a fit check and wonderful photo op. And now they're bringing it back down. There's still more work to do, so this isn't a sign that something went wrong. We think that this is nominal for what they planned on doing today.
Yep. Absolutely. It's just I know so many people got so excited. Oh, they installed all the Raptors in one night, and
Yeah.
look, they've got all the engines on the Starship, and all these things. Everybody's so excited. I think it wasn't really reasonable to say that that ship was ready to fly. So I know so many people. We've been sort of swimming upstream against this. Everybody's so excited. Oh, confirmed launch on August 5th. That was yesterday.
Yeah.
They were not stacking it here to actually fly the thing. They were doing these tech checks so that they can find a problem now instead of waiting for a month or whatever. We haven't seen them do a cryo test on Booster 4. We haven't seen them do a cryo test on Ship 20. We haven't seen them do static fires on any of these engines. Some of them have been static fired up at McGregor, so they do test the engines in advance, but there may be engine swaps that happen. Some of these engines might not even be engines they're going to fly with. This was to say we put it together, we stacked it up there. We know now that we need to make these changes to the table or the platform or whatever, but there's still a lot of work. I know people wanted it to fly, in good grief, constantly. Oh, it's happening. Oh, right now. Oh, confirmed launch in August, or whatever. And there is still a lot of work to be done before we're going to actually see this fly. I don't want to be the guy to stomp on anybody's balloon or anything, but it really is a lot of work, and we know what the process looks like, and we know the tests that they go through. And I think, I mean, I need to see a cryo test of S20 with all these tiles on it. And then after the cryo test, I want to count the tiles. Well, I don't want to count the tiles again. I want to count
No,
the
that's
missing
Ian's job.
tiles. That's easier. Yeah, Ian can count the tiles. I'll count the missing tiles.
Oh, there you go.
But
Yeah.
there's still a lot of work to be done. There really is still a lot of work to be done.
Yeah.
You don't want to cryo this thing up and then have thermal expansion or contraction pop tiles off, right? You need to test it with this many tiles. All the new joints and stuff like that they've designed, the special tiles on the flaps. You can see there's some curved tiles over there where the joints actually meet the wing roots there. There's still things that need to be tested. So we will see some of those, maybe less testing than I think, because SpaceX, right? Maybe they will get one and say, that's good, we're good to go. We don't need to spend 3 months on this. Let's make progress. But there is still an awful lot of work to be done. Like, sort of cover that there, Steve. I know I
Yeah,
know
I
so
think
many people
so.
are excited.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and we're just as excited, but we also we want to live in reality
Yep.
and not get too ahead of ourselves thinking that it's about to happen, especially because we're trying to deliver as much factual information to you as we can. So we don't want to make you think that it's about to happen when
Yep.
we know that it's not.
Yep. We don't want to say, oh gosh, potential launch. Oh, try to get his clickbait or whatever. That's
No.
not how we roll. That is definitely not how we roll. And hey, sometimes we get bit too. We're like, oh, they're gonna lift it, and then weather or the wind or something like that. Like, we're not trying to clickbait anybody. We're using the best information we have, and sometimes even SpaceX is going for it. But then something stops that from happening, like we saw with the thunderstorms rolling through the other day. So 100%, we don't want to be here and try to, oh yeah, everybody, oh, it may launch tomorrow. Make sure you keep an eye on Starbase Live or you'll miss it launching. It could launch any second. Like, come on, really? Seriously? That's not how a NASA spaceflight is. So I think, Steven, we better start hitting some of the chats that we didn't get.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
shortly here, I have a feeling we're going to turn everybody over to Starbase Live.
Yeah.
Not quite touched down yet. We'll sing it out when we do, but let's get some of those messages in if you could.
Yeah. Let's do it. Oh, you know what? I think I saw why you went into the wild mode, the commentary of the wild
Yes, I
beast.
did.
Yeah,
Yes.
Delta V. Yeah, with that $20 super chat. Yeah, thanks Delta V. We appreciate that. Let's see. Steve Shoot said, "Thank you. Thanks for all you're doing, guys. It looks like they're bringing ship off the booster to finish the TPS application and run separate static fires for the RVACs and gimbaled Raptors." Yeah, you could be right about that one. We assume that they've got a full testing regime coming up. We got some new members: Michael Thompson, Russell Sutton, Eddie Saldana, El Dewey MD. Let's see. Golden Boy a while back wanted us to clarify something. Please correct the earlier statement saying the smaller GSE tanks are for the methane. Everyone is going to quote that forever. Okay, yeah. Our understanding is that the smaller tanks are the oxygen tanks. There's just more of them.
I think
which
so,
we
yeah.
which we talked about right when we said it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So there was
we
nothing
did.
correct there.
I
Yeah. Yeah.
didn't. Yeah, I
We talked
didn't.
about that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I guess maybe some people just missed that whenever we corrected that. Mark Roberts, new membership. All these people helping us out. We appreciate your support for sure. Steve Baker, John Depker, Podgrown, John W, RG Merkel, Chris Jones, new membership, Dave Course, all these new members. Welcome to the clan here.
Nice.
The whole gang's here.
Yeah, the space family or whatever. What do you
Right,
call
right.
it? You know,
Right.
space fam.
Yeah, space fam. And I actually had some questions that I queued up like at the very beginning, but I think most of them have been answered. Yeah. So I don't know if I need to get to those. But all these so generous people out there that are throwing money and helping us out. There was a $50 one I think that we missed. What are the chances for launching today? I think we've answered that.
All right.
How about within the next 7 days? Yeah, I'm not expecting to see any launches in the next week. We've got a full testing regime to go through. Casey Edwards wanted to do a shout out to my colleague George, who is absolutely watching this right now. So George, I hope you're if you know who Casey Edwards is and your name is George, then that's
Plus
for
2
you.
viewers. We'll take it.
Yeah. And lots of people just saying thanks for all the work you do in these broadcasts. Thank you all so much. It's a team effort.
Again, y'all, the scroll bar in our interface where we pull some of y'all's comments and questions and stuff like this, the scroll bar is tiny. It's like 3 pixels. It's hard to click on, actually.
It's hard to grab it, yeah.
And we appreciate your support across the board. All the super chats, we never are able to read all of them, but your support is why we're able to keep doing this. And it's not just the super chats. The folks that are part of the membership program, you know, you're doing the monthly thing there. That's huge for us as well. I know that it doesn't pop up something in chat every time you watch a stream or something, but we don't forget about you. We're able to keep this going because y'all keep showing up. People that bought stuff from the merch store on occasion, that's a thing as well. You know, but you don't have to be spending money to be a part of this. We don't do it that way. We're glad of the people that can support and make this possible and enable us to keep it going. But we don't say, well, you can't see this unless you give us $5. Sorry, you know, put your nickel in the door at the tent or whatever. That's not how it is. We want everybody to be able to enjoy this. So everybody who does and can support, we appreciate you. Everybody who supports us just by showing up, by chatting, by asking questions, by liking tweets, thumbs upping the video, subscribing to the channel, whatever it is, everybody can be a part of this because we want everyone to experience what we're able to share here. So I got to say it every time. I know I probably sound like a broken record. Some of the fans who've been to lots and lots of streams, it's like, oh, here he goes again with the spiel. But it's not just a spiel, it's true. I want people to show up and I want people to be a part of this. And I'm glad that everyone's able to be here. I'll be quiet now. Sorry.
Yeah. Thank you very much, everybody. All the new members and all the super chats. Like you said, we're never going to be able to get to all of them. I mean, as soon as we started the stream, the queue just started filling up, and so we don't want you to think that we don't appreciate it because we absolutely do.
Yeah.
We need it. I mean, we need to have it because the stuff, it's
Yeah.
not free to do all this stuff. It's time and effort and also physical things that actually cost money. And
This is
go ahead.
this is really close to being all the way down here. It just goes into the little clamps a little bit. It doesn't go all the way down to those bolts, and they have to be within an inch or two of this thing being down. It looks like so
It
very
might be.
imminently. Go ahead.
It might be down. It's hard to say.
It really
Yeah.
is. There's
Maybe
like
a
one or
tiny
two
bit
black
more.
pixels I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
As,
looks like the movement has stopped.
as long as they still have the hand on it, you see the worker on the right hand side. It still is sort of making physical contact with it. I feel like it's
He just took his hand,
Well, there you go.
just like,
No, no.
just like always.
every one of these workers has an earpiece in listening to us podcast mode. And as soon as I say, oh, this guy on the right hand side with the blue shirt, he's like, oh, okay, take my hand off. Where they're listening to me.
Well, if you rewind the stream a few hours, I do think that it is down. So
Yeah. It does look like it has made contact with the transport stand there. Again, expecting this to roll back. A road closure posted by the county there this afternoon, or actually at 11:30, just under 2 hours from now. And we expect right there, you can see 11:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. That's Central Daylight Time, local time in Boca Chica there. And that is coming up in under 2 hours now. We have a feeling that it is going to make the journey back up to the production site. You can see it in the background there. Starships 15 and 16, whichever. It will be rolling back towards the production site and more work to be done. Like I said, all gas, no brakes. What do they say? Full send. SpaceX is not declaring victory now because they know there's still a lot of work to be done. I know that I know that I just did the thing with the spiel and the super chats and stuff. On the way out the door here, folks, you're going to be able to keep watching. We are going to keep Starbase Live up, all of our cameras that we've had over there. I need to do maintenance on a couple of them, so I'll be shuffling them in and out. But before we run, I wanted to remind you, if you want to show off your Starship interest, we have our merch store, shop.nasaspaceflight.com. All sorts of cool designs over there. This is the most recent one we've put out, the cryptic message from Starbase, when orbit Starship, if you want to read it there. You got hats and shirts and mugs and different colors and stuff like that, all sorts of sizes, international shipping, etc., etc. There are also some other cool designs. The older designs, wall art. We have posters, aerial photos, sunrise shots. If you want to have something to put on your wall, there are some straight up crazy shots that Mary has captured out there.
Oh yeah, that
We've
one's
got like
beautiful.
art prints and posters and all sorts of different budgets there, right? Mugs. I just don't know where to go to click on mugs. And the hats and the hoodies and, the Starbase. So we've got the Starbase t-shirts. Let's see here. Hoodies and stuff like that. The design that shows the skyline of Starbase with all your favorite players, the ships and Hopper and the moon and the cranes and the high bay and everything. We've got a couple different designs over in the store, and if you hop over and you buy something, show off your pride, show off your interest, confuse your coworkers or friends and families, anger your wife because you have one more T-shirt that's going to go in the closet and you already have enough. That's the boat that I'm in. But getting something, picking it up from the merch store over there, click the link in chat. That's another fantastic way to not only support us, but have a little bit more to show for it than just memories. A shirt or something like that as well. Geez, that sounded lame when I actually said it, but anyways. We appreciate all the support, folks. And for now, I believe we're going to have y'all ending up over on Starbase Live. You can continue watching all these camera feeds. But let's go ahead and run around the horn really quickly. On the stream today, you heard the voice of Chris Gebhardt. Chris, that was cool.
That really was.
It really was. Also, Steve Marr. Steve, thank you so much for sharing this with us.
Glad to be here. That was the next coolest thing to any flying test. That was awesome.
Absolutely. Michael Baylor pulling the levers in the background today. Michael, thank you as well.
no problem.
And then out there in the field, Boca Chica gal, Mary, out there every single day, not just doing the live streams, not just tweeting photos, but getting the footage for the daily video. The dedication is real. The original Starbase, actually, back before it was Starbase, Boca Chica gal, the photographer who, or actually not even photographer, just interested person who was interested in seeing what was going on and started taking pictures and sharing them. So massive thanks to Mary out there. Hey, Jack Beyer is in the field as well. He went all the way over there from the West Coast to assist. So much going on, we had to send more help to try and keep up with it. But Jack Beyer as well. And then back here in the studio, my name is John Galloway for NASA Spaceflight. If you're watching over on Twitch, you may know me as Das. But we're going to go ahead and leave you with the same views on Starbase Live, so that you can continue to watch what's going on. Most likely this afternoon, we're going to keep the coverage going right there on Starbase Live so that you can see the rollout, or the rollback, or the roll in. I'm not sure which way to call it, but it'll be right there on Starbase Live. Links over there in chat, and I believe for now, we're clear to spool down, aren't we all?
I think we are.
All right. Well, we'll see you over on Starbase Live, nerds. Thanks for watching with us.